Okay, one more live, just one more live, because I wanted to actually discuss what I didn't get to discuss in the previous live, before it kind of just devolved into this circular argument of nonsensical talking points with Dory Jones Jr. I wanted to get everybody's thoughts on Shields versus Marshall, what they expect to happen, yada, yada, yada. And like you guys saw what direction it went. It kind of just devolved into this ridiculous conversation where the guy's trying to make all these just making all these logical fallacies that don't make sense. I was goody Jay, was goody Sam Randall, was goody Rafa, que lo que maning. And I'm gonna just try to pick up where we left off to where we're actually discussing the fight to some degree. Tomorrow I'm gonna be having D Styles on. I got a couple of subjects I want to do a questionnaire with D Styles about right here on the channel. That's gonna be noon East. It's gonna be 2 p.m. Eastern time, but noon his time. So on my time, if you're on the East Coast, it's gonna be 2 p.m. If you're I guess a little further Midwest, it's gonna be 12 p.m. because I'm doing it 12 p.m. his time, and his time is 2 hours behind this time. So yeah, we're gonna do that. Don Ramon, que lo que, LeRon is crazy. Oh yeah, 2 lives, bro, 2 lives. I know I normally don't do that. I normally don't go live this much, but it's kind of like I looked at the news stories that are out there. More Ryan Garcia crap, more calling out Gervonta Davis. Right now there isn't a proliferation of news stories that has my attention. So I want to get other people's reactions to some of the stories that I've already talked about here on the channel. One fighter that I wanted to talk about that I haven't had the chance to talk about in very many of these lives is Joyce. So I want to get right down to it and open up the chat to the panel. I didn't get to ask people the questions because I had like a whole thing. It was like a whole thing I wanted to do. And when the conversation devolved into this guy that doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, when it kind of just devolved into that, it just went way left. And I actually had a couple of subjects that I wanted to cover that I didn't get the chance to cover. So I'm gonna just post this right here, and I'm gonna post the link for the people on Twitter and see if we can't have a more productive live than the last live was, because that shit was just that shit was just comedy if it was anything, dog. Like, who the fuck do you think you're convincing with any of this garbage that you're saying? Like, it's like, bro, you might as well just keep all that bullshit to yourself. That shit didn't make no fucking sense, fam. Like, I know you talking, but just because you talking don't mean you saying anything. You doing a lot of talking and not saying shit. If you saying that, for example, Savannah Marshall is a hype job, right? You indirectly insulting Clarissa Shields because they fought some of the same people. So you can't take a piss on Savannah without indirectly taking a piss on Clarissa. If you saying that Savannah ain't no good and she's a hype job, right? Okay, then how come Clarissa couldn't stop the fighters that she stopped? If she's the hype job, then what does that make Clarissa? And no, it's not a triangle theory. I'm saying if you calling one fighter a hype job, a souped up hype job, right? This souped up hype job broke Hannah Rankin's jaw and perforated her eardrum, right? Why ain't Clarissa do that? And if you saying that this fight is a hype job, I dig it. So how come she hit the canvas and she didn't? These are simple questions. See, maybe what it is, and it's not complicated, it's actually relatively simple. Maybe it's that Savannah isn't a hype job. Maybe, just maybe. That doesn't mean she beats Clarissa either. That doesn't mean that. But you're saying it like she's no good. And she's running through these girls that Clarissa got to go 10 rounds with. So call me crazy. But no, I don't think she's a hype job. I think that's a bit extreme. But you know what it becomes whenever tribalism is involved? All the actual boxing gets taken out of the conversation. You know what I mean? Remember, this is a guy that didn't even know Savannah Marshall is WBO middleweight champion. He literally didn't know that until I told him. And I'm like, bro, how you really trying to sit here have this conversation and you ain't even know this woman had a belt and Ben had that? Like, you literally didn't know that. How the fuck, like, that shit is crazy, fam. That shit crazy to me, dog. Like, motherfuckers, that if there's one thing I notice about this era that we're in, it's that people will say anything and they think that just the act of saying something is like, oh, well, that's what I don't give a fuck what you think because it's not based on facts. Motherfucker, you didn't even know this woman had a belt. So what the fuck do you know about the situation? If you ain't even know who this woman fought in her last fight, and you did know this woman had a belt, what the fuck do you know about the situation? Got country in the building, you know what I mean?
What's up, man? What's going on? Jules, that was hilarious today, man. I was rolling at work. I couldn't stop laughing.
Because it's ridiculous. You know what this shit is, country? It's kind of like what we always say, that motherfucker think cause he talking that you saying something. Like, you talking, but you not saying shit at all.
The thing about it is, dude would not answer your questions, and he kept trying to talk over you and not answer your questions. He would deflect. And it's like, the more he did that, the more he just made himself look like uneducated, pretty bad.
Well, let me say this: what they don't realize, what a lot of those guys don't realize, when you go to someone else's channel, right? When you go as far as going to someone else's channel and you want to be a part of their panel, but you don't want to answer their questions, you already fucking lost.
Yeah.
Like, you already fucking. Then what the fuck are you doing here then?
He was sitting there going, mind if I smoke, and didn't even have a cigarette.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you're not gonna actually address what it is that we're talking about, right? You cannot answer questions about Savannah. You cannot answer questions about Inui. You cannot answer questions about Javante. Then what the fuck are you doing, fam? What are you doing?
Jules, this is just testament to how much the nutcases come out. I mean, the other night we had Ricky's older brother by proxy, Frank. Then we had this guy today.
Yeah, it's like the loonies is coming out. We got Reyes. Reyes is in the building. Reyes, I don't know if you caught that live that I did earlier with the
I caught the debate video.
I had to chop it up. I had to try to condense it and chop it up because that dude spent mad time just pussyfooting around shit. Like,
and I'm watching the Frankie shit right now because like last night I was too tired. I dead said I don't have the energy to listen to Alexis and Sawabi yell at each other. I'm gonna go to sleep. And then
I dig it. Like, I ain't even mad at that.
I'll wake up. I'll look at the Frankie part of this. I'm like, yo, this man.
Dude,
I don't like calling people a dick writer, but
that's Mr. Reality. He was trying to tell me that Bivol's size was the only reason he beat Canelo, and I'm like, his skill had something to do with that. And he's like, no, you're lost in your sauce, man. It's just his size, and I'm like, yeah, okay.
Well, the funny thing is that, let me say this, you can't, and I say it all the time, that one, this channel is not for everybody, contrary to, the opinions of, no, this channel is not for everybody. You need to be able to think on a certain level just to partake in a conversation, because a lot of this is silliness. How could you say that Inui should be ranked behind Stephen Fulton because Inui didn't fight Chocolatito? Fulton didn't fucking fight Chocolatito. What the fuck is your point? Fulton didn't fight the dude in his own weight class, Akhmadaliev. So if Fulton is not as decorated as Inui, why the fuck is he ranked ahead of him? Or why should he be? Because the truth, nobody ranks Fulton ahead of Inui. Nobody does that shit.
And the worst part was, dude dragged that shit out for damn near 3 hours today.
Bro, that shit went on for hours and hours. And it's like, yo, it's short bus logic that it's like, listen, and I don't like, once again, I don't like going in that direction because I don't want anyone to ever hear me saying something and it sound like I'm against a group of folk. No, I'm not against a group of folk. All I'm telling you is the only reason you picking that way is not because of no motherfucking boxing, and everybody knows it. So why don't you just fucking say that and stop wasting everybody's time?
Even Lady Chan came on the channel and started blasting him. I mean, it was like, and I guess she had prior experience, and it was like,
Yeah,
damn.
she did. She said it, and shout out to Lady Chan for saying it, because I don't want to be the one that says it. You understand? I'm not into that shit. I don't do that for clicks. So I'm not into that shit. But being realistic, fam, the only reason you saying all that stupid ass shit you saying is it don't got nothing to do with boxing. So why don't you just fucking say that and stop wasting all our fucking time?
Right.
And it's obvious why you don't want to say that, because as soon as you say that, you know, ain't nobody gonna want to talk no motherfucking boxing with you, fam. You gonna sound like a fucking fool.
Jules, every time you were asking a serious question, he just wouldn't answer. All you would hear was crickets, man. I was rolling.
This shit is stupid, fam.
It was multiple times, and it was crickets too. That's what was crazy.
But it's stupid. In other words, if your whole thing is right, which I have said many times in the past, tribalism has a place in sports, believe it or not. You know, when it comes to the Yankees, it's not unusual that you will find a lot of Yankee fans in New York. Why? Because that's the fucking home team, right? Right. There's a place for tribalism in every sport. The disconnect is, don't tell me that they the best team in the world just because they from your fucking city. No, they're not. You know what I mean? Don't tell me that this is the best fighter in the world just because you got something in common with them. No, we not.
What made me roll was when you asked him if he was from Baltimore, he would not answer that question.
Because he doesn't know. I could tell by his accent. But a lot of guys from Baltimore got a very funny little accent. It only comes out with certain words, but I could hear his accent. And it's stupid shit like that, fam. If you know you from Baltimore, why you pussyfooting around the question? If you know you from Baltimore, and I know you from Baltimore, why you pussyfooting around the question? Because you don't want to be wrong, right? Because you argue like a fucking 12-year-old. It's silly shit like that.
Man, y'all guys were roasting that guy, bro. I was just finishing watching that show before I got on the live, and I was like, man, this guy is a freaking idiot. Like, he just keeps contradicting himself over and over and over again.
And these is the guys that beg to get on, these is the guys that beg to get on a panel and argue about shit. And I'm like, bro, you just gonna make yourself look stupid. You gonna give me a lot of sound bites to use, but you just gonna make yourself look stupid. It's not that I'm doing it to you. It's that you stupid. Like, you dumb, fam. And you not smart enough to have a conversation with me.
Yo, Julius, and he's stupid because, like, every single guy, okay, my favorite fighter is this, and that, but every other guy is a hype job. Like, okay, Savannah's a hype job, Inouye's a hype job, everybody else is a hype job to you, everybody else is a hype job, and they've accomplished more, but, like, everybody that you like is the best.
And then he kept bringing up Pacquiao, too, on top of it multiple times.
Because he thought automatically that I'm some kind of Pacquiao fan. That's what he thought, and that's why he thought that was like a get out of jail free card, that all I got to do is bring up Pacquiao. Bro, I'm a Mayweather fan more than I'm a Pacquiao fan, even though I criticize them both. Like, yeah, I criticize Floyd for a lot of his goofy shit, but I was always more of a Mayweather fan than a Pacquiao fan. I picked Mayweather to beat Pacquiao, so talking to me about Pacquiao don't mean shit. That's not going to help you, because at the end of the day, whether Pacquiao is an 8 division or a 7 division or a 2 division, you know who not a 3 division champion? Gervonta Davis. And bringing up Pacquiao is not going to change that. That's not going to change that. Since when do Reggie belts qualify? If that's the case, Daniel Dubois is heavyweight champion of the world, and Robert Helenius, because they both got secondary titles.
Didn't he say they were?
Still arguing about that?
No,
I'm just look. I asked him. No, I didn't even ask him. He said that.
Hello?
I think you muted, Julius.
And then he said, no, yes, he is. And then I asked him, was Daniel Dubois?
Hey, Jules, you're cutting out if you can hear us.
Yeah, you're cutting out, Jules.
For real.
Your brain, regardless of how old you are, is underdeveloped. I don't know what you did when you were young or what your mother did while you was in the womb. I don't know. But if that's the way your mind works, I hate to be the one to tell you this. It should be a doctor. Your
Hey,
brain.
Joe, your mic was cutting in and out when you were talking, dude. We couldn't hear everything you said.
All right, let me say this again one more time. If that's the way that your mind works, your brain is underdeveloped. It really should be a doctor telling you this, but I'm the one that's telling you. If that is how your mind works, your brain is underdeveloped. I don't know if you ate paint chips as a child or if your mother was doing something while you was in the womb, but if that is how your mind works, your brain is literally underdeveloped, because none of this is complicated. Honestly, nothing that we ain't over here talking about algebra. You know what I mean? Like, it's not complicated. None of this. You just don't want the logic to stick, because if it does, that makes you a hypocrite. Which is all I'm saying. Yeah, you a fucking hypocrite. How the fuck is Fulton more proven than Inoue? Proven at what? At doing what? I don't know. Maybe he good at some other shit, but not boxing. Not better than Inoue. Inoue a 3-division champion. For the same reasons that you hold Clarissa Shields, right, as a more accomplished fighter than Savannah Marshall, that applies to Inoue and Stephen Fulton. Inoue is a multi-weight champion, like Clarissa. Inoue is unified and lineal in Ring Magazine, like Clarissa. But why is it when we bring up Inoue, it don't apply to him? I know why. We all know why. But you don't want me to say that. So what, we supposed to just sit here and pretend so we don't hurt your feelings?
Because, I mean, what other reason is there? Like, you keep telling him the facts and you keep proving him wrong, but he keeps saying no. So, I mean, what other reason is there? There can't be any other reason.
It's just race, in my opinion.
And that's the part that I don't like. I hate getting into that part, because I see that there are other channels, you know, they go for that shit. They like that shit, but I'm not like that. But there's no other conclusion for me to come to. What other conclusion am I supposed to say when, look, dog, you don't make no sense. You telling me that because Inoue didn't fight a couple of guys at 115 that he shouldn't be ahead of Stephen Fulton, but Stephen Fulton didn't fight the only other guy at 122. And you not a 3-division champion. And you not a Ring Magazine or a lineal or none of that. So what the fuck did you do that's supposed to put you ahead of him?
Has Fulton only been at 122 or has he been at 118?
Only been at 122.
122. Okay, so I guess he's trying to say that I don't qualify Inoue because he didn't fight the number one guy when he was at that weight class. Okay, but Steven hasn't fought the number one guy or number two guy at that weight class that he's in.
He literally hasn't, because what he doesn't know this. Like, if you go back and listen to it all the way through, you'll see that he doesn't know who unified first. MJ unified before Stephen, about 2 years before, when he beat Daniel Roman. Daniel Roman was the unified champion. He had those 2 belts that MJ has now. MJ beat him after only having 7 pro fights. MJ was ready to beat that dude.
Jules, he couldn't even tell you who unified first between Fulton and Inoue, man. And when his answer was, well, they both unified.
No, what he tried to do was go over what he said. First, I asked him, what did Fulton, and if you go back and watch it, you can see it. I asked him, what did Fulton do that Inoue didn't do? And he said, oh, he unified. I'm like, that's not true. Inoue unified before Fulton, 2 years before Fulton. Literally 2 years before. So how could you say that? And that's when he started moving the goalposts. And this is what I mean. It's like, yo, dog, I don't know what you think you're doing in your own underdeveloped mind. Maybe you think you sound good, or maybe you think you making a salient point, but everybody else looking at you like, yo, what's the matter with him? Like, is he retarded? Like, you stupid or something? Because ain't no motherfucking way. Like, bro, how is any of this going over your head?
Because he didn't want it to be in any other way but that. He wanted his narrative, and that's what he was trying to push.
I said, I know you don't know who Kazuto Ioka is, and he said Tony Yoka.
Yeah,
Tony Yoka. The movie star.
Fam, I said, hold on. I said, I don't expect you to know who Kazuto Ioka is. And you know, you're wrong, because I know who Tony Yoka is. I'm like, yo, this can't be serious. This is not real, Sam.
When he said that I was rolling, I almost laughed in front of a customer, man. I was rolling so hard.
Like, yo, I'm like, yo, and you got guys like this, just like the Frankie guy, that they think that because they're talking, that you saying something. Like, you really think that just because you talking, that you making sense. Like, no, you not making no sense. Like what Frankie said yesterday. Frankie said that he believes that Artur wants to fight. And when the fighter wants to fight, the fight is happening. The fight happens. But this fight is not happening. Okay, then Artur must not want to fight by your logic then, right? Because you're the one that said when the fighter wants to fight, the fight happens. But this fight is not happening. Okay, then Artur don't want to fight then.
Well,
it can't be both.
That's like dude the other night when you were talking to him. He would try to make his point, act like he was right at the end and laugh, but then he was getting mad because you were proving him wrong.
I don't know what. Listen, I don't know what. Listen, they got a minor league as far as these YouTube channels. I'm not going to say no names. I'm not going to say no names, but I'm going to say that like these guys is AAA league. If I'm MLB, and these guys is AAA league. Y'all need to stick to the AAA league where you don't have to make sense, where all you got to do is yell, and that's enough. You need to stick to that. That's where you belong with your shit. You belong in the triple. You don't belong around here saying that dumb shit.
He's on the sidelines yelling, "Hey, that's my cousin!"
You know what I'm saying? Like that shit. That was honestly one of the last 2 days and the discussions that I've had. It felt like I was talking to children. It felt like I was talking to like 2 little kids. Like, fam, what's wrong with you? What you saying don't add up. And you know, I hate to say this, but it speaks to the individual who is an adult if they cannot, if you can't be logical in things, if you can't be objective, it actually says a lot about you, because a lot of things in adult life really do come down to critical thinking. You can either do it or you can't. And if you can't, I got a good idea how you living. Because it's none of this is hard. If this is hard for you, this simple ass shit, I can only imagine what other stuff is like. Because this is simple. No, Fulton is not more decorated and not more accomplished than Inoue. So at least for now, and I'm not even counting him out, maybe the feud, because that's the beauty of boxing, you can prove it at some point. So at some point, you may have the opportunity to prove it. But here today, you are not more proven than that fighter. So why should you get preferential treatment? Because that's what you asking for. When you jump on and you try to convince me that he's better than, what is it based on? Because it ain't based on boxing. It ain't based on who they fought. I know what it's based on for you, but you don't like that I don't care. That's because really that's what it boils down to. If I just say outright, I know the only reason you're saying what you're saying is because you have something in common with the fighter, you're not going to like what follows after that. What the fuck do I care? What the fuck does that mean to me? Does it mean something to any of you? Is the best fighter automatically determined by whether or not you have something in common with them? How close do you live to their house? What, where you grew? That has fuck all to do with boxing. That has nothing to do with boxing. Now, if you want to root for them on that premise, that's different. That's cool. That's normal. That's all sports. But when you try to convince me that he's better than him because you have something in common with him, bro, I don't give a fuck what you have in common with him. Simple. Now, we got this fight coming up this weekend. Pulev versus Chisora, right? No, first, I don't even want to get into Pulev versus Chisora. Who saw Joe Joyce versus, what was this guy? Christian Hammer. Who seen that?
I saw the highlight.
So nobody watched that shit.
Bro, why would I watch that shit? Are you dead ass?
I can't get mad at that. Like, really, that wasn't a big fight. It wasn't a big fight.
I saw Christian Hammer and I'm like, all right, bro. I mean,
I know it was just one. I watched it because I'm like, well, I do like watching people get the shit beat out of them, and he probably is gonna get the shit beat out of him. So, and he did. He did. Like, so I was like, nah, I'm gonna watch it. Why not? You know, it's not like it costs anything. But I just wanted to see who's actually impressed with Joe Joyce, and I wanted to get people's opinions as far as how far they think he can go. But y'all didn't watch the fight, so
I mean, how old is he again?
he like 36.
All right, so 2 years. There we go. There's your answer right there. I
Well,
don't really see.
Hey, Jules, here's the thing, though. I mean, he can take a lot of shots right now, but when he starts moving up to the upper echelon, is he going to be able to take those shots from those upper echelon heavyweights? Because he may not. And if he
And
can,
that's
he's
kind of
gonna
the
get
point.
destroyed.
That's the point that I've been making for a while. That Joe Joyce, yeah, you could get hit by Daniel Dubois, but what was Daniel Dubois when you fought him? A domestic level prospect. You know what I mean? Like that's literally what he was, a domestic level prospect. It was a great win. I'm not shitting on the win, by the way. That's necessary for you to go through that. To go, like you fight the guys on your level, then you keep moving up. But I'm like, Christian Hammer, because y'all didn't see the fight, y'all don't know. Christian Hammer would hit him with some shit that it was like, yo, if somebody else hit you like that, I don't know if you're going to be able to take it. So I thought about it. I'm like, well, I don't know if AJ is going to beat Usyk. So let's say Usyk beats AJ again. And the WBO mandatory is Joe Joyce. Do you like Joe's chances against Usyk?
Oof,
Yes and
that's
no.
Oh, you were
There.
serious?
yes and no, right? He has the
Yes and
style.
no.
He has the style. He could take a punch.
Well, he
He's
gave
got
Usyk a
stamina.
good
He's
fight
got
in the
stamina, right?
amateurs.
One at a time. All right, go ahead, JBN.
He's got stamina, right? So he's got power, and he doesn't get tired. He can take a punch.
So you like his chances against Usyk in a 12-round heavyweight fight? 12 rounds.
Yeah, because it is a heavyweight division, and I mean it is kind of like I picture it kind of like this Chisora fight.
Yeah,
Because,
I mean,
and
yeah. I
Chisora
mean,
gave him problems.
he did. Like honestly, Chisora made him look worse than AJ did. To be real.
He wasn't able to hurt Chisora. Did you see Chisora hurt? No.
No, he did get hurt. He did hurt Chisora. I did see him. hurt Chisora. Let me
But
go
would you say
to
Joe Joyce has a better chin though than Chisora?
then Chisora. Yes, right now he do because Chisora done been in a lot of wars. Let me go to Yo. It's me, Yo. How do you feel about Usyk versus Joyce if Usyk beats AJ again?
Hello.
Yeah.
I think it's a good fight stylistically, but I think I'll favor Usyk in the fight.
So
Because Joe Joyce is Joe Joyce is a small heavyweight, right?
Yeah. No. Joe Joyce is big, man. He's a big heavyweight.
He's
a
6'8",
big dude.
6'9", right?
Not 6'9". It's not like this. Is the funny shit. Joe is not as tall as Fury, but for some reason, when they next to each other, Joe just looked mad fucking big, dog. Like not taller, but like bigger in the body. That like he just a bigger dude. So no, he's not little.
Anthony Joshua.
Yeah, like he like a burly. He burly like Anthony Joshua. Put it like that. But it's like you see that he's not as muscular as Anthony Joshua, which is maybe why he has a better gas tank. Because I do think if Joe has one thing that's elite, is he has a really good gas tank that he don't get tired. If anything, he gets stronger as the fight progresses.
Yeah, because if you haven't been able to hurt him or stop him coming, he's already fucked you up. He's already
he already beating the shit out of you.
Your neck, your shoulder, your stomach, your face. So he just keeps getting stronger.
So let me ask about this before we even get to a potential Usyk versus Joyce rematch, I should say, because that was a semi-pro fight, not really an Emmy fight. It was actually a semi-pro fight. They didn't have headgear. I'm going to go to JBN. Have you decided who you think wins this fight?
Nah, man. No puedo decidir. Like, and I want Anthony Joshua to win because it's going to be better for the division, for the heavyweight division. But, I mean, Alexander Usyk is a great boxer. And it's hard because, like, he's going to have to pressure him and take chances. And I don't know if Anthony has the chance to hold up to if Usyk keeps countering him.
Yeah, it's a fair point. Reyes, who have you decided who you think wins this fight?
I might still have to go with Usyk for now, to be honest. I don't know. I just don't see what AJ does in the second fight. Like, it's possible that he comes in with that whole pressure game plan and still Usyk beats him. I just don't see the win for him at this moment.
Yo, who have you decided who you think wins this fight?
I think Usyk unanimous decision or maybe like a late stoppage.
Ooh, spicy.
Because maybe war in Ukraine might push him. Maybe you never know.
I mean, it's this fair. If Anthony goes in there trying to throw more punches, he could burn out faster. So it's possible that you punch yourself out, and then he knocks you out. That's possible.
He doesn't have the best gas tank.
He really don't. Country, have you decided who you think wins this fight?
Yes, I have. To be honest, Joshua's got one shot at trying to get him out there early. It's an uphill battle. I don't know if he can actually do it. And once he tires himself out, Usyk takes him and knocks him out.
So basically, a lot of people, and admittedly, I understand it. I get that why a lot of people don't have faith in Anthony Joshua. It's just that different people present it in different ways. That listen, it's not even that Joshua's a bad fighter; it's that Usyk is that good.
But
so
he doesn't look like he's changed it all.
I mean, I haven't seen, listen. Hiring Robert Garcia, that's great, and Angel, all of that is great. But I'm just being real. That look, that's not convincing enough by itself. I haven't seen anything yet that I'm like, yeah, he gonna do it. I would like for him to do it, but I'm like, being real, I don't see like, what are you gonna do, fam? What are you gonna do specifically?
Right, and he also still doesn't have a look of 100% confidence on his face either. So I have a hard time seeing him win due to those factors.
I can't blame anybody that's picking Usyk to win. At this point, it seems like the logical choice. I understand that a lot of people count out Anthony Joshua early, but at the same time, Usyk really is that good a fighter. So it's hard not to pick him. AJ wins the fight, in my opinion. Nothing against the Capricorn tribe. It's just that I believe he knows where he went wrong and the adjustments that need to be made. That's one of the few people I see picking Anthony Joshua confidently, to be honest. Willie believes in him. Myself, I am undecided because this is one thing about the heavyweight division, and I've said this before. When Lewis got knocked out by Rockmore, everybody thought he was just a piece of shit. That's what they were saying. I remember all of that. Everybody around, or at least around my way, oh, Lewis ain't shit. He got a glass jaw, yada, yada, yada. The very next fight, that same year, came back, boop, boop, knocked out Rockmore. Motherfuckers ain't had nothing to say. When Vladimir got knocked out by Corey Saunders, right? They said he just a piece of shit. He ain't no good. And then he went on to rule the division for 9 years.
People were slipping on Lewis, though, because that was Lewis's MO. Every time he got knocked out or beat by somebody, he came back with a vengeance in the second fight and knocked them out or avenged the loss.
But that's how boxing fans are. The second that you lose, it's like everything you did before that just gets thrown in the trash. And I'm like, see, you can't, I really can't do that. I know that AJ has been in a situation where he had to come back and change things in order to win the fight. We've seen that. And this is different than that fight. I understand that. I'm just saying that he's not exactly in unfamiliar territory.
Yeah, but you mind if I interject real quick? It's not even that I'm saying that he's become shit or he's not like as good or whatever. It's just that I'm looking at it and it's showing like, yo, the style matchup here isn't really in your favor too much. Like, if you were play this fight back like 10 times, AJ probably uses like 9 out of the 10 fights. Like, you don't really have like a lot of times to win this fight. The only thing that makes you more like doable in this fight is just your size, and that's it.
Really, yeah. That's his best bet.
AJ didn't
You're
have
not a better
plan in the first fight, though. I mean, he didn't know what the heck to do when he tried.
No, I will say, like, I remember when he said, what's it called? My coaches were telling me I was winning, so I wasn't trying to put any emphasis. And I know people thought that was a lie. But wait, watch this. I look back at the fight, and you could hear what's the guy's name? The
Rob
British guy?
McCracken. Rob McCracken.
Yeah. So after AJ got his ass whooped in the round, he came back to the corner and Rob McCracken said, "Beautiful boxing."
Really?
And I was like, "Yo, what are you talking about?" Yeah. I look back at it and he was like, "Yeah, beautiful boxing, AJ. Beautiful,
That's
beautiful."
nuts.
So then let me
and
ask you. So let me ask you,
wow.
because very recently, AJ said that, you know, he was getting mixed signals and shit like that from the corner, that they were telling him he was doing all right? So do you really believe in your heart of hearts that had he known that, yo, you losing, fam, do you think he would have did something differently?
Yeah, he might have.
Yeah, I guess, because there are those guys that listen to their corner a lot, like on the De La Hoya type stuff, where you listen to your corner and just not fight the last couple of rounds or something, like he did against Trinidad. So it's not impossible. Yeah, it's possible. It's possible he was like that.
Let me ask Eson about this. Eson,
Yo.
Now, Yois Me just made a very valid point that he rewatched the AJ versus Usyk fight. He rewatched the fight, and he said that he did hear Rob McCracken, because remember, when I watched the fucking fight, I don't watch fights with the volume on most of the time, so I myself could not hear what was.
Well, I didn't hear it by a review. I heard it from like a clip. It was like a clip.
No, I dig it. I'm just saying that I didn't even know that Rob was bullshitting like that. In other words, like this is kind of news to me that Rob was, you know, telling him bullshit instead of telling him what the fuck it was. Do you feel, Eson, that if AJ would have known that he was losing that fucking fight, because apparently he didn't know he was losing that fight, do you think he would have did something differently?
I agree.
I agree.
Salient points.
It's a very.
I mean, I thought myself.
I couldn't. I was just about to say that.
Damn.
Drew, let me ask Drew. Drew, we know that basically what was going on in the corner, Rob McCracken was telling AJ that he was doing better than he actually was. You know, he telling him that, yeah, you doing beautiful, you boxing beautiful, yada yada yada. So
yeah, look at the comments. Brilliant, AJ.
Exactly. So if AJ would have known that he was down and he was behind, do you think that would have made a difference in how he fought?
Absolutely, Jules. As the Ring IQ representative that was actually there that night.
He was there, by the way. He went to the fight. He did go to the fight.
Jules, how was AJ thinking that by the third round, 70,000 people were quiet?
I'm back.
Finally. That's a fair point that like I have mixed feelings about what he said, that like, oh, you know, Rob is telling me this and that, yada yada, right? But I'm like, bro, but you in the fight.
Yo, can I
tell you was losing?
Yo, Julius. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I was actually that's actually my bad, my connection. But I was gonna say that I'm like, I don't believe none of that, because like at the end of the day, when you're in that ring, you know what's going on better than anybody else. I don't care who your trainer is. You know what's working in there, and you know what's not. You know if you're getting hit more than you're actually hitting the guy, and you know you're getting your ass kicked. So
then do you think it's bullshit, Eson? Do you think it's bullshit what he's saying?
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not with the whole, he's acting this way, he seems this, but I'm like, bro, like AJ is not giving me no, and I like AJ for real. I like Usyk too, but I like AJ a lot. To me, he's been the guy in heavyweight. But yo, he's just making me like, bro, you're not really showing me nothing that's actually like benefiting you. Like you keep saying this and that and the third, but it's like you need to be saying some other things, because he's really saying right now that he didn't know he was losing that fight that whole time. So you didn't know you were getting hurt early in the fight. You didn't know you were getting.
I look at it this way: it's possible early on that he didn't think he was, but by the end of the fight, the look on his face, you could tell he knew he got his ass whooped.
Yeah. There's no way he was on those ropes. You remember that country that he was on the ropes and Usyk was unloading on him late in the fight. Yeah. Ain't no way. You could have ain't no way you thought you was winning at that point.
No. Early on, I could see him thinking that though, but later on,
I mean, but fellas, how much of it is Mr. McCracken trying to save face that he got replaced?
That's a fair point. But remember who that's coming from, though. AJ is the one that's saying that he would go back to the corner and he didn't know he was losing. So we can't put it on, oh, Rob is trying to save face. In other words, no. You saying that the reason you didn't try harder is because Rob kept telling you was winning. And the question is, how did you not know you were losing? You're in the fight.
I have to add this to. Can we all say that we take AJ at his word most of the time, as compared to?
I think
yeah. I think.
Wait, did Canelo say something similar? Or like,
I think he believes what he says, but
and that
I
goes
don't
to
really.
my point of, I could see AJ believing that based on sticking to the game plan and believing Rob that that's the right game plan for Usyk.
That's hard to believe that you was like, look, I'm gonna be real, right? If I go back, it's like, yo, you didn't land a real eye-catching shot that whole fight. The most eye-catching shot of the whole fight was the lead left hand from Usyk. That's the punch. When I think about the fight, that's the punch that I remember, or the punches that I
The
remember.
body work too. The body work, in my opinion, was phenomenal from
Like
Usyk.
you said, Jules, that lead
he went
left
to the body
hand,
the way AJ needed to.
That lead left hand in the first 30 seconds of the fight
told
everything you needed to know.
Told the story.
Because AJ never got his rhythm.
Yeah, you know, when I look at those comments, man, I'm like, this is not a good look for AJ because it kind of looks like he's throwing Ron McCracken under the bus.
I mean, well, let's say we can say that it's not as bad as what Wilder did to Mark Breland, right? I mean, can we say that?
No, I wouldn't say as bad as that. I can attest to that. But
I'll say this, like I said, AJ's a very open dude. If you ask him a question, he's generally going to answer it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Virtuoso, just based on everything that's going on, right? Because we already know what the corner situation is now, so there's no mysteries. Do you think it's going to make a difference?
It's just that AJ could, definitely like impose his size on Usyk, but like he's got to understand that he's not going to be there for him to do such a thing like that. And it could accelerate things based on how well Usyk, trains for movement. And it's like you're not going to be like an Evander Holyfield overnight and just duke it out on the inside, which is the kind of fight that I want him to do. But to me, it's undetermined because it has to do with the Robert Garcia and what his experience is with heavyweights. That's the way I look at it.
If you get Robert, just like if you get Freddie, if a guy gets Freddie, it's because he wants to be more aggressive. If a guy gets Robert, it's because he wants to be aggressive and physical. He wants to rough guys up. So
that's what he needs to do. Is he needs to go in there and rough Usyk up while he's trying to fight him. I think
and I'm gonna say that it's not that I don't see a way for AJ to win. It's that it's down to the wire. I do see a way for him to win. You got to charge this guy, bro. You really got to throw caution to the wind and charge this little motherfucker. That's literally what you
now. And now here's the question I have for you guys. AJ has to be the bull, but can he be a better bull? Can he be a better bull than Usyk?
We know he can't be a bull. We know he can't be. We know he can't be the bull for the whole fight. That's the first fucking thing.
And my thing is, can he be a better bull than Usyk can be a better matador?
I don't know. I got a better question. Can he be a better bull than Chisora? Is he going to be as reckless as Chisora was?
That's a fair point. Like Chisora, for all his faults, he's pretty
go
good at what he does.
Yeah, and the thing with Chisora was he was getting low and he was staying on Usyk's chest. But AJ, like, he don't. Chisora's been knocked down 1,000 times. He's been knocked out. I don't give a fuck kind of guy. AJ is. We know what AJ is.
You're expecting a boxer puncher to be a swarmer, right?
Exactly. It's not gonna happen. I think AJ is gonna have a good shot in the first. I could see AJ coming out and being aggressive and winning maybe the first 2 or 3 rounds, maybe. But but he's gonna get tagged in between, and you're gonna see Usyk it's gonna be clear what Usyk is setting him up for, based off AJ's offense. And remember, Usyk said I might switch my stance this fight.
And I have to say,
watch out for that. If Usyk switches midway through the fight, he's not gonna know what to do.
And I have to say this: Robert Garcia's best fighter in his stable is Bam. Bam has athletic abilities and gifts. If you look at Robert's resume, his guys don't really make that many adjustments in fight.
Yes. You don't go to Robert Garcia for mid-fight adjustments.
You don't,
Right.
and I'm not.
You
That's
really
no
Let me
don't.
knock
read the
on
super chat.
Robert.
Let me read the super
Oh, go ahead.
chat.
Okay.
Willie says, I don't think charging him is the answer personally. I think that the best thing to do is catch him clean in the exchange, like what Ramirez did to Haney. This is what I mean when I say charge him, right? Where AJ was fencing with the jab, and if you go back and you watch the fight, you'll see that he was probing him with the jab instead of stepping into the jab. And when I say charge him, that's what I mean. Just shoot the fucking jab and bring the right hand over. Whether you hit him clean with it or not, bring it over, step into the punch, and then when you close to him and you on him, hit him to the body. That's what I don't literally mean charge him like you just run after him like you're gonna body slam
You
him.
know what the problem with that is, though? You know what the problem with that is?
What's the problem with
You're
that?
right. Now you're right there open for a counter by a smaller, faster guy. And what got you knocked out in your fight with Ruiz? You were in the pocket exchanging with a smaller, faster guy. And
Fair
he's a
enough.
southpaw,
Fair
but he
point.
might. But again, he might be fighting orthodox this time. So yeah, AJ has a way to win, but then we got to think about who is Usyk, and again, Usyk's the kind of guy who we know he's like Bivol. If you fight him a second time and he sees you for 12 rounds, he's probably gonna do you worse.
Correction. Bivol's like Usyk, okay?
Yeah. Yeah, nah, for real, yeah. But
I'm just look. I'm with you, but I also know the heavyweight division is weird, bro. Like you
Yeah.
can't say that it's not fucking
Yeah.
weird. It is a
Yeah.
weird
one
division.
punch, bro.
One punch,
motherfuckers
and that's it.
bro,
Like
listen, McCall knocked out Lennox. That's all like
that's what I'm
Douglas
saying.
knocked out Tyson. Like, if
I
Usyk gets sparked, I might
One
be surprised.
punch,
Hell
look,
no.
one
Hell no.
punch can cause structural damage. That is true. He
Yep.
did like kind of ripped up his like eyebrow, and it's like if you can cause some like disruption like that, get blood in his eye, and maybe disrupt his vision, that's key. You got to swell up that eye.
Now,
Don't
I'm gonna
forget,
tell
his
you what I
orbital got
think. I'm gonna
fractured.
tell
Go ahead.
you what I think. The
His
important
orbital got
punches,
fractured.
like the important punches, at least for me in this fight, it's not really the straight right hand. That's to me, the right hand is gonna would be useful to set up other things. The money punch that I think that he needs for Usyk is two of them. One is the left hook, which is underrated against southpaws, but it's actually a very good punch against the southpaw, and the uppercut. I think he could really hurt Usyk with an uppercut. Take him out with an uppercut.
now let me ask you this, Jules. Usyk, if you're in Usyk's camp, what are you preparing for?
Oh, you already know. You know. We all
No,
know.
because
Come on.
he knows what AJ, he knows what it looks like AJ trying to box him. What are you preparing for
If
as
you're
possible
Usyk,
game
if
plan?
you're
Yeah.
Usyk and you're getting ready for a more aggressive Anthony Joshua, you're working on your feet.
And how does he
That's
counter
what's-
those left hooks and those
Pivots.
uppercuts you're talking about, Jules?
Pivots.
See, now here
Because
goes
basically,
something.
hold on. Basically, you kind of neutralize it before he gets to set up the left hook by staying on the outside of his left hand. If you on the outside of his left hand, he don't get to turn that into a hook because you on the outside of that. So how do you do that? You do that with your feet. You keep your lead foot. You make sure your lead foot, your front foot is on the outside of his shit. And so long as your foot is out there, he can't hit you with a left hook.
And
because you're on the outside of the-
correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't there a certain YouTube content provider named Julius that pointed out Usyk never had bad placement in the first fight?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at his feet, you watch the whole fight. Watch the
Favorable
whole
position.
fight. Hold on. Watch the whole fight, and don't look at the punches. Don't look at their torso. Literally, watch their feet. And what you're going to see is when Usyk was on the outside, as soon as he would jump back inside, his foot was always on the outside of Joshua's foot, and that's how he beat him. So long as his foot is there, you could shoot that lead left hand, and he can't do nothing about it. That's how he won.
Hey, Jules, let me bring up a point real quick. Oh, now something that who? Okay, well, two things. One question and one point. Who was it that beat Usyk in the amateurs?
Better beef, pressure.
Better be. All right. Something that I'm curious about, in that nobody seemed to have really attacked much. I mean, I know he's in the pros now, and it was a long time ago. But when he got beat by Better Beef, didn't he get hit to the body?
Yeah, that's what stopped him. Body shot.
Why nobody? It seems to me like people are sleeping on that. Why isn't anybody attacking his body?
But see, but that's what I'm. That's what I mean, country. That I'm like, look, if you throw the 1-2, it's not even to hit him with the 1-2. It's to get him to guard up. What you really trying to do is throw that 1-2 so you can step into those 2 punches, get close enough to hit him to the body. It's not even about hitting him with the right hand. It's you literally setting up the body shot with the 1-2 or the 1-1-2 or the 1-2-1, where you jab and right hand and then jab again. You really trying to set up the left hook to the body, because that's where I think he can get him. We already know if you got a dude that has great legs, how do you slow him down? You go to the body.
Well, I remember.
I don't think he's just going to
on the
walk
recap.
up and do that. You know, it's not going to be a walk in the park, but it's something to go after.
That's what the fuck. The shit is, look, whether it's a walk in the park or a walk on the jagged rocks, that's what the fuck he got to do.
Well, I remember you saying on
I just got to respond real quick.
Go ahead.
He's got to be able to close the distance. That's just like easier said than done, but like he's going to be able to do that, because if he's not going to be able to do that, you're not going to be able to land to the body.
Exactly.
Well, remember what you said.
Exactly,
I remember what you said on the recap, Jules, that it don't matter if he's not landing clean on the head. Touch him to the arms, touch him to the chest.
Yes.
Punch
Just
him in
touch
the dick.
him. Just touch
Turn
him.
into Canelo.
And that's why I said that where a lot of people are making this sound very cerebral and very tactical, in all actuality, what you need to do is change your mindset. You need to change your mindset from I need to hit him clean to no, I don't need to hit him clean. I need to hit him. I don't care where I hit him. Whatever I hit, I break.
Exactly.
If I hit you on the elbow, if I hit you on the elbow, if I hit you on the forearm, whatever I hit, I break. Because
It's structural damage. It's all about breaking down the
question?
fighter physically.
Can I ask a question?
He needs to
I got
take
a
a
question.
George Foreman mindset. Which one to referee?
He does. Yeah.
Mm.
But
Because I'm going to kill
alright.
the other
So
motherfucker.
we all know what AJ needs to do. We all know it's not going to be easy, but he has to try to do it, or you know, it comes with the risk of getting KO'd. You got to do what you got to do in this shit.
Exactly.
So how many rounds do we say he has? Because we know he has a limit. His gas tank is not going to hold up for more than. I'm not going to say how many rounds I think.
5 to 6, son. You know that.
I
You know
said
that.
6.
5 to 6. If you talking about,
Yeah.
well, if you talking about an AJ, right? Let's say he come out hard and fast in the first. You got maybe 4 to 5 more rounds where you could do that shit before you blow your load. And we know that. And we know that Usyk, he backwards. He gets stronger as the fight goes on.
He's a Saiyan, bro.
I give him 5 to 6.
Yeah,
Let me read the super chat.
that's right
Unfortunately,
there.
let me read the super chat. Unfortunately, Opataya's jaw is broken, but AJ needs him in his camp. That would be, honest to God, that's actually true. You need an athletic southpaw that bounces in and out, and his money punch is the straight left. I know that Opataya is not the spitting image of Usyk, but they do some of the same things well. The difference I'll say is Usyk has better inside game than Opataya. Opataya needs room to get that arm out, to extend that arm, whereas Usyk hit those short little punches. We saw that in the Garcia fight, that he could be with the guy throwing these little pity pats and then bam, and mix in the power shots. Opataya is a little bit more straightforward, but I do agree. The
He did
best
that to AJ. Hold on.
is Opataya.
And what also I got to add to, Usyk has the advantage when it comes to the corner. Robert Garcia doesn't have heavyweights. This is his first fight with AJ. So the minute that first hard straight left lands from Usyk, who's to say AJ doesn't revert from the game plan?
But is it? I want to ask a question. Is AJ fundamentally flawed when it comes to tucking the chin? Because it really, ever since the Ruiz fight, and I know y'all all see it, when he gets hit with a clean shot, he don't react the way that he used to before that fight. He get hit, and it's like you get nervous, or you get rattled, and you're not throwing the same way that you used to. When all I'm saying is, remember, this is heavyweight boxing. You overthought the first fight, fam. You were overthinking it. You were heavyweight. If he blocking, all right, I'm going to punch the shit out of your arm, fam. This is going to hurt your arm more than it hurts my hand. You know what I mean? That's how you got to go in there. The Canelo tactic, which, yes, it didn't work for B-Ball, and I get that, but this is different. Unlike Canelo, you are the bigger guy. You're the bigger guy. Punch the shit out of his arm, fam. The way it's hard
You
for him
gotta
to
Rocky
raise you.
Marciano it.
How much of it, Jules, is psycho? I just think AJ don't trust his chin himself
It's probably
anymore.
like 20 pounds, I think. Right?
But we've seen him get up. Even in the first Rui fight, the man got up. He kept coming. It's just, I think
Yeah,
there's a
but
lot.
after you go through that the fat dude kept knocking you down and you kept trying to get up, it'll leave a splinter in
Yeah.
your mind.
I think that's what I'm saying. I think
Forget
it's.
his chin,
I don't
man.
think it's
What
a.
about when he gets
Lennox
knocked on
Lewis had the
side of
same
his
chin
head?
problem.
I don't think it's a physical
I don't
erosion.
think this. Let me say this. Frank brought up Lennox, right? A lot of Americans, I remember when I was young, they thought that Lennox was chinny. And I disagreed because of the other fights that Lennox had that I'm like, bro, you can't be chinny against Ray Mercer. You see what the fuck he did to Tommy Morrison. The guys that knocked Lennox out, it's only two of them. Those wasn't those was guys that could punch. Oliver McCall could punch. And he had a chin. And he could take a mean punch.
And Rockman just hit the jackpot.
I meant about his chin. Lennox fought,
But
with
that's
the
what
high
I'm saying.
chin.
Frank, are you saying that Lennox was chinny?
No, I'm saying he fought with his chin up. You made the point about, guys, a lot of Eastern Europeans, the European style, high, like Klitschko, the high chin. That's why he got bodied a couple times.
Yeah.
Like Lennox, when Lennox, when Lennox got with,
Isan said, like our boy Triple G always got his chin tucked.
Well, because you see the drill that he do, he'll have the I've seen the at least in old Triple G training footage that he would have the ball under his chin, like he always has his chin tucked. And just forget the training video, literally watch his fights. That dude don't pick that, like it's always tucked. That's why he can take punches.
Textbook fighter.
Excellent fighter.
But Lennox, when he got with Emmanuel, that's what Emmanuel kind of teaches. The right hand's always on the chin. That's when he'll paw with the jab. Lennox start doing that, and he bends his knees. That's a real Kronk style thing, bending the knees. AJ's bone-legged. It seems real hard for him to
now,
bend.
I don't think he bow-legged, because bow-legged is saying that he feels like a cowboy. You know what I mean? That's bow-legged when you stand like you got an arch on your shit naturally. That's bow-legged. I'm gonna say that I don't really like AJ feet, being real with y'all. I don't like his feet because this is what I saw. You a taller guy. You got longer legs, which means you have longer strides than the smaller man. So even if he stepped within range of you, right, you should be able to take a half step back to where he's back on the outside. That if you see he coming forward, take that half step, shoot that right hand so you catch him coming in. And AJ, he would just stand there. Like, bro,
who you talking about? That's what Tito used to do. He, bone-legged dude. He could be on those balls. And what you're saying, Tito was quick. I mean, people say he was a slugger, but he did what you're talking about: pop back and shoot the right. That bone-legged kind of, But you got to be on the balls of your feet.
Yeah.
Right.
I was watching one of Beats' videos recently, man, and he brought up how dancing kind of loosens you up. It releases your endorphins. And Usyk is a guy who's like very calm under pressure. So yeah, he's a guy in rhythm. And like when you saw that promo shoot in Saudi Arabia, the people was there dancing with him, man. He's more in line with the people, and AJ kind of was like there. He was vibing, but then he just left. Like he's not feeling it.
I'm gonna say this. Look, dancing and really like dancing. Usyk is a Capricorn. I know y'all gonna laugh, but
Watch it. He reminded me. I was gonna say that.
I'm being real with y'all. That like, look, we got a natural internal rhythm. We love music. It's in there. Like, yeah, it's just in there.
What Usyk reminded me of just watching him is Holyfield. Now, if you ever watch Holyfield, he could dance. Like that's something that he was real big on. Holyfield
wasn't he on Dancing with the Stars?
He was.
I'll go even further, like for more metaphysical. Usyk is just more comfortable in his body than Joshua is.
Yeah.
No, but it's the music though that like.
What I'm saying, like you said, Jules, you don't like AJ's posture sometimes or how he moves.
Yeah, because you too like I don't like.
Unlike stiff, man, that's what we're trying to say.
Let me say this. It's not that I think AJ is robotic, right? Because really, a lot of these heavyweights are robotic. If you look at them, most of them are robotic by definition. So I'm not gonna pigeonhole AJ and say that he's robotic. It's just that you talking about a little dude that's quick that he just danced because he feel like dancing. He has that range of motion that you don't have. So what you need to do is be that train, be that big train that comes right at him hard and fast. Because you not going to box this dude, fam. That shit is not going to work.
No,
period.
The first fight proved that.
Hey, yo, Rain, thanks for having me. I'm going to have to head out later. Peace.
Well, I mean, if we talking about dancing and what AJ, then AJ need to imply what Lennox did with Holyfield. And I mean, I don't know, somehow Holyfield, he made Holyfield exchange. Holyfield probably could have danced around all night.
Can we say this? Well, first, let me read these two super chats. I meant Linares, but I agree. Liver and kidney shots are the key. One thing AJ needs to do more than anything is maintain the distance between them due to AJ's reach being longer. And this is what I mean. One thing that I see Uniel Dorticos that he does very well in the cruiserweight division is he shoots his jab, and it's not even about hitting the guy with the jab. It's to close the gap. You shoot the jab, step into the jab, you bring over the right. Maybe it lands, maybe it doesn't. But you trying to get up on the guy. You trying to get within striking distance. He need to do that because you bigger than fucking Usyk, fam.
Problem is though, bro. Like I said before, if that shit misses, and early in the fight, like we got number 2. Early in the fight, that's when Usyk's gonna be sharp still. Like, yeah, he gets better as the fight goes on, but he's gonna be fresh. He's gonna see what's coming at him. So it's like, I'm just saying, the consequence of what's gonna happen.
Willie Lynch says Oliver McCall never tasted the canvas once in his career. Consider that Mike Tyson broke jaws and shattered teeth, but McCall sparred him. Yeah, McCall was a bad motherfucker, which is why I don't hold it against Lennox that Oliver knocked him out. Like, McCall was a bad dude. Like, that wasn't any old body. And if you think about it, Rockman got some big ass fucking hands, fam. Big ass hands. He knocked out Lennox. Those only 2 guys that knocked him out, and neither one of them is Joe Blow. You know what I mean? Like, they're not those.
No, they're not. And if we're being technical, the Rockman knockout, Lennox was partying.
Well, yeah, he was in Africa. What was he at?
He was
7,000 miles high.
Yeah, no, he was filming Ocean's 11, and Rockman hit the lottery with the perfect shot.
I agree.
Rockman was tough. He was tough though.
And he tough.
So did Don King. He hit the lottery.
You know that Jake Paul about to fight his son that got knocked out? I don't know if y'all heard the news. Tommy Fury had until noon today to resolve the issue, or Jake said he was going to move on. And now what the story is, per Chris Mannix, that he is going to move on, and he going to fight Rockman's son. Yeah, Rockman's son or nephew or whatever that got knocked out.
Yeah, Rockman Jr.
Jr. Yeah, he is. Yep.
Yeah,
I'm just sick of these Furies. I'm tired of these Furies.
J. Paul.
What do you think about that though? Like, if Tommy don't fucking fight this guy, bro, what happens?
He's a bag fumbler. Tommy fumbles. Like, I'm just saying. I
know I'm gonna get hate. I think it's good for the sport, but that's my opinion. I know.
You saying if Tommy don't fight him, it's good, or you saying that Jake is good for the sport?
Jake is good for the sport. That's.
Jake is better than Tommy. It's just is, man. Let me just say this, man.
Jake is more of an active boxer and a real boxer than Tommy.
Yeah,
if we gonna be real,
that's a sad.
Just get out of this Fury business and just move on. Go after celebrities.
But what I'm gonna say is this. All right, Tommy doesn't fucking fight this guy, right? So what happens then after that? Like, Tommy, like, you really fumbled with Jake Paul 2 times? How do you come outside?
Yeah, he's selling the bag, bro.
And then I knew it was bullshit when Jake said Tyson Fury never sent that $1 million in escrow.
Because it was, but yo, look, ain't Tyson Fury the one that said that he gave a homeless people his whole purse?
Yes.
Come on, be like, that dude just be talking to be talking. Like, he don't be meaning none of that shit he say.
He ain't the Gypsy King for nothing.
I mean, he
said,
that's the
term gypsy.
No, he the tipsy king.
Bro, he's something. And I guess what I'm getting at is, how do you continue a professional boxing career? How do you continue a professional boxing career, right? Where you fumbled 2 Jake Paul fights. How you supposed to how do you come outside? How do you go to Aldi to do groceries? Like, bro, you might as well just
Tommy 2 times.
That's what I'm saying. Then I'm like, yo, fam, like, do you realize that Jake
He
never had
should get out of the Jersey Shore, man, for real.
Jake never had to fight this guy. Never had to offer him to fight. But where he never had to do that, he offered it to you 2 times, my man.
Now, Jules, do you really think he could have got permission to fly into the country though?
No, but I think that that's where character comes into it. If you knew that you might not be able to fly, which I think their father knew, which is why their father was trying to say all that shit from the beginning. I think he knew, and if he knew, there's a chance that Tommy knew. So why don't you just tell the truth and stop bullshitting? Now you just look fucking stupid. Now you look
like professional cappers.
Honestly, yeah,
it's professional cappers. That's
because John Fury was literally running around telling people. I remember I heard him say he never been knocked out. He said some fly shit, and then but a few weeks later, I seen a video with him getting knocked out. Yep. I see when he had hair on his head.
Yep. Dude, it's like watching the Kardashians.
Didn't the governor like fuck them up or some shit?
They the real housewives of boxing, homie. That's what it is.
They really gypsies. They lie like a motherfucker.
Yeah, that's what a gypsy is. You see them on the street.
Lying is in their blood, bro. Lying. I'm convinced lying, contradictions are just in their blood.
Well, I don't, honestly, I'm gonna just stick to the individuals that we are talking about, because I don't want to generalize. But what I mean is that, look, that family is like, it's a lot of fuck ups in that family, is what I see. They're like, Tommy, fam, you a fuck up, fam. How you fucked this up 2 times? Before it even got to the point where you fucked up the Jake Paul fight. Remember, you was in there with a dude that had a record of 0-1 or some shit. The dude never won a boxing match, right? This was the guy that you fought on Jake Paul undercard, and you couldn't knock him out. It's like, fam, that look bad. You supposed to be the guy like, oh, I'm the legitimate boxer. I'm the serious professional. Fam, you ain't here with a dude that has not boxed in like 4 years or some shit. The Anthony Anderson cat. That dude had not boxed. And yo, he never won. Like, I think his record was 0-1 or some funny looking shit. And I'm like, fam,
but we seen this in boxing. That's Butterbean, and I mean, that's the only thing I can think of.
Now, Jules, did you start?
He could fight though.
Not people to
start
fuck
this
out.
because you saw Johnny.
This guy couldn't knock out a fucking like his own sleep.
But it's just an act.
Johnny Cap. Listen, Drew. Johnny capping, bro.
It's a reality TV show.
Let me say this. Johnny Nelson tried to say, for those that didn't catch it, that Usyk is an average southpaw. And the reason, let me just say this, nobody say nothing. First of all, your average southpaw don't become a undisputed champion. You know what I mean? So let's get that shit right out the way. Average southpaw? No, your average southpaw don't become undisputed, all right? Your average southpaw don't move up to heavyweight and beat heavyweights. Not your average southpaw. So you capping. But Johnny good for that, which is why I don't spend a lot of time on it. Johnny say a lot of fly shit. That
he's just on code, bro. Listen, Johnny just on code, bro. That's it.
Yeah, that's exactly that's how I see. Which is why I didn't spend a lot of time on it.
It's true, bro. A lot of these boxers on code, bro.
Yeah, because it's like, what else you supposed to say? Like, Johnny, you realize that his cruiserweight career is better than yours, right? So if he average, what are you?
He's like a ball busting uncle, man. You know that, right?
His career is better than him.
But that's what I mean. How you gonna say that he like? Look, and I'm not shitting on Johnny. I'm not. I'm just being real. That like, look, Johnny, you campaigned as a cruiserweight too, right? And you did not do what he did at cruiserweight. So if you saying that he just an average southpaw, what are you?
Exactly. Funny. I went back and watched the Shields Marshall, and just looking at Savannah looks pissed off. Like, I can't wait to fuck this bitch up. All that talking over her, all that loud lying.
Well, look, Kat, me and Kat was talking about it on Twitter. Shout out to Kat. I wish she would join the panel, but she want to say all her shit on Twitter. And I'm just saying this, that like, look, I have never bet against Clarissa Shields before, right? Every time she had like a major moment, the Nikki Adler fight, which a lot of people don't remember, that was the first time she fought a champion. That was the first champion she ever fought, Nikki Adler. That was up at 168. Then Christina Hammer. Then after that, DK. I never bet against Shields. This is the one time where I'm like, nah, this is very different from what you faced with them. This is very different.
This is
And
it.
like,
So
like
it's
this,
like it's like this, Jules. I did notice that she kind of has this nervous energy to her, man. Because like she looking at it as like, oh, okay, at least I got MMA to fall back on. I got this, and
it's more like you rattled because it's the little things. Like, you know, Savannah, when she talked, I didn't hear no crack in her voice. I didn't see no tension in her neck, no tension in her shoulders, no tension in her forehead. This is places where the tension shows up. These are the places it shows up in your neck, your neckline, or your shoulders, or if you frowning your face up because you tense and you nervous. And she was cool and like I see now you cool. You know, you're not really bothered. Whereas with Clarissa, it was like the opposite. You in a hurry to talk. You in a hurry to interrupt. You gotta yell. You gotta say this. And then what you're saying, fam, let's not kid ourselves. The reason the fight is in the UK is because you don't sell here. That's just the truth.
Exactly.
That's the
yeah,
But
reality.
what's alarming, Jules, is she's up there lying to herself to convince herself. You don't sell tickets. You don't do nothing. And what I'm saying about Savannah's cool and calm. She looks annoyed that this bitch is lying.
What I see is, look, when Clarissa left Showtime, she said what Showtime told her. That Showtime told her, you know, she wanted more bread, yada, yada, yada. And Showtime told her that you don't have the metrics for that. That's what she said. That's in the article, her
Yeah, I heard
words.
that. Yeah.
She said, so I'm like, well, if Showtime told you that, how you sitting here talking flatter like, oh yeah, nobody knows you, fam? The only reason, look at her fight that she had with Lolita Musea. Look at how many people are there. Look at the fight she had with Femke Hermans. Look at how many people are there. It was mad more people at her fight than your fights for Undisputed. So just be real with yourself, and that bothers me. That I'm like, yo, you really not being real with yourself about things. They're like, yeah, you're not a draw in America. It's bigger than you actually. It's
Yeah,
not
but what is
all
she
your
supposed to
fault.
say? You know, like what is she
I mean,
supposed to
that's
say?
where the truth will keep you grounded. Katie Taylor's
Sometimes
a bigger
how
draw
we
in
feel
America
don't
than
match
Clarissa
reality. That's how
Shields.
she feel.
Katie
I
Taylor's
think
a bigger
listen,
draw here
listen.
than Clarissa Shields.
I could understand that as a fighter, she's in a situation where you got to ask that question. That, well, look, what was she supposed to say? I understand that, but what you say is important also. And if
No, that's
what
what I'm
you,
saying. She believe what she feel. Like that's how she feel. You know, like you
but
couldn't tell her
that's what.
nothing.
Now this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What I seen on her, you don't believe that shit you saying.
Oh, okay. You
That's
don't
what
think
I'm
she?
saying. Go back. Don't believe nothing I say. I want y'all to go back to the video that Sky Sports posted on Twitter when you get the chance. When they show a segment of the Gloves Are Off episode where they sit them both down with Johnny Nelson and they talk to each other. And they had a close up of Clarissa's face, right? And you could see the tension on her forehead. They're like, yo, you don't believe this shit you're saying. You don't believe this shit.
That's a
I
bad
kind of
sign.
I do think she believe in the sense like people around her are pumping her head up. You know, you ever hear the stories of Alex Rodriguez? How he
Which
used
one?
to pay people around him to tell him he's the best. Like,
Yeah, but look, Aaron Pryor did that. You know what I mean? Like he used to have a guy walk behind him yelling his
yeah,
hawks.
yeah, yeah. Andre Ward did that. The
You know what I mean?
homie in the
Like I
ring that would
get
be like, "Oh yeah,
even
yeah,
Devin Haney has a guy like that.
yeah,
He
yeah."
has a
That
guy like that.
bustard. Oh, he was
But
awful, dude.
I'm looking at you, fam. You don't believe what you're saying.
she gotta
You
be
know
her
the
own
shit
hype
you
man.
saying.
I know.
You
Yeah,
know
her
the
But
eye
shit
like,
you
twitching.
saying. When I looked at that shit, and I was
Yeah,
watching her, I'm like, fam, you left Showtime because they tried to cut your purse in half. You know that. You know you're not dumb. You know that. You know what Showtime told you. So how you sitting here trying to say that nobody knows Savannah Marshall? Then why you the one in her country?
You tried to go on pay-per-view and you got paid less on pay-per-view than what Showtime was offering you.
Yeah, like this fight. Let me say something that maybe a lot of people not gonna like. Savannah Marshall is what's keeping Clarissa in boxing. If not for this fight, who was you gonna fight?
but she did go to MMA.
But that's what I mean.
I have no idea why.
Look, I didn't like that she went over there, but this is reality.
I think for the what's the girl who lost? I thought
Kayla
for that
Harrison.
fight.
But you tell me if she ready for Kayla Harrison when she couldn't beat the Mexican girl.
She's not even ready. She's
not ready.
UFC contract.
Like you just and I'm not knocking her because it's not easy. I get that. It's not easy to say, yeah, I'm gonna do this now. All I'm saying is, if not for the Marshall fight, right? Who would you be fighting right now?
Who knows?
And this
nobody to fight.
And this is a testament, Jules, to how good Holly Holm was. Holly Holm was ready.
Yeah, Holly. Like, look, this is how good Holly was. You know Mary McGee that fought Chantel Cameron? Y'all don't know who that is. Cool. Holly retired beating her in her prime when she was a young woman. That's how good she was. There's not a lot of people that Holly didn't fight, believe it or not. Like, she was that good.
No, I know who you're talking about.
You know Mary McGee. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I know the top women's fighters ever. I know them because I went. I did a little research and.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
But yeah, she Holly is you can't do what she did. That's why
Holly is arguably
she's a legit
she's the real GOAT of women's combat sports.
And let me say that Holly like she fought one of the hardest pound for pound punches in the whole sport. So hard that anybody that knows, unofficially, Sophie already beat Christina Hammer, man. They just saved Christina's record by calling it a DQ. In reality, you got knocked the fuck out, fam. That's what happened. You got knocked out. And what saved you is that you was holding on to her glove. So while she was beating the shit out of you, they tried to say that she was holding and hitting when really it was you. You was trying to bury your head in the shit so you don't get hit. And she knocked you out, right? This was way before Clarissa fought Christina Hammer. Hey, so I'm like, that's the kind of fighters that Holly fought. Like, it ain't a lot of people that she didn't fight, being real with you. You know what I mean?
And that's why I'm not opposed. That's why I want her and Katie to get that payday.
Yeah.
They can retire after that.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm dying for Holly Holm to come back to boxing.
Go ahead, country.
If that's what you saw on her face, though, she's inadvertently telling on herself, and that's a bad sign.
Well, I'll say this much: everybody think that fighters are unbeatable until they get beat, and everybody thinks that Clarissa's unbeatable because she campaigns at a weight where, at a time when she was there were only 13 girls to fight. Fam, stop blowing it out of proportion.
Right.
Like literally, like these guys that hype her up. Right. I'm just telling you, when she was at 168, there were only 13 girls at 168. So, I mean, really, who'd you have to go to? Hold on, I'm not done. When you went to 160, same thing. There was only 13 girls to fight. 3 out of the 4 belts you won, nobody was holding them. You can't compare that to what some of these other girls got. You can't compare that to Katie Taylor. She had to fight 4 champions for them belts. You didn't have to do that. She couldn't win 4 belts in 2 fights if she wanted to. You did because they were vacant. Nobody had them shits.
They were made for her, basically. They basically were made for her.
Even and what I like about Savannah, she said this in 2020 during the pandemic, that look, at the weights where we campaign, there's just not a lot of girls. You know, it's always been that way, all the way back to the amateurs, that at the weights where we campaign, it's not a lot of girls that campaign that heavy. And with that, you just tell the truth and you liberate yourself. That look, this is the way it is. Okay. I don't have to lie. I don't have to put on a front. I don't got to talk nothing up. At anywhere above 154, it's not a lot of girls to fight, fam.
Yeah, I just think that Savannah Marshall got the psychological advantage. That's just my opinion.
I've said this before.
So you think this gonna be a Jeff Lacey, Calzaghe type of thing?
That's what I super chatted Ring IQ this afternoon. It's gonna be like a rude awakening.
I feel like this is the thing.
She got that Joe Calzaghe style.
I see this. I keep seeing this image of Clarissa real bloody in a fight. That's what that keep popping up. They're like, yo, when she hits you, she's gonna bust you open. What she did to Hannah Rankin, she didn't just break her jaw, she perforated her fucking eardrum. You fought that same Hannah Rankin.
Clarissa Shields doesn't have nothing to keep her off her. She couldn't keep the Mexican girl off her with 4-ounce gloves.
In other words, this is what I see, right? This is how I see it playing out. Clarissa's faster than Savannah, right? But the second y'all start trading punches, which is going to happen, Savannah's going to try to step in. Clarissa's going to counter. Once y'all both trading, that's where you're going to get caught because you're smaller than her. You have to be within striking distance of her just to hit her. And while you're faster, once y'all start trading punches, the same thing that happened with Hannah Gabriel's is going to happen with Savannah, but Hannah's bigger, stronger, and faster than Hannah.
Dude, she literally fight like Calzaghe, only right-handed.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Julius,
I wouldn't say that.
She got her hands down with the head out.
If Savannah presses and like if she presses Clarissa, crowds her and digs to her body and like really commits for the first 2 to 3 rounds, you think a mid-round KO is possible? Like really digs her body, like really, like, bro. A few of those, like a few straight left hands to Clarissa's stomach, bro. Oh,
I'm gonna say this. I feel that and I'm not gassing her. This is not new shit that I'm saying. It's not gonna take a whole lot to hurt her. It's one clean one that'll hurt her, and 2 that'll finish her. It's one clean one that'll hurt her, and when she hurt,
shot.
Yeah, and when she get hurt, Savannah, like, she finished strong, fam. Like, that's what the fuck we've been seeing since she went. Like, she finished strong, fam. Like, she know
that last knockout is still scaring me, bro. That last knockout is still scaring me, bro.
I'm saying,
I'm still having nightmares about it. I can feel that fucking punch.
You had to go 10 rounds, and it's not a triangle theory. Why? Y'all fought more than one common opponent. That's why it's not a triangle. Triangle is just about 3 people.
Yeah.
MK, Hannah, Clarissa. Okay, but you also fought motherfucking Hannah Rankin. So it's not a triangle no more, fam. Now it's just, look, she hits a lot fucking harder than you do, fam. It is what it is.
And Clarissa already don't really get that much respect anyways. The only thing that happens is that she's fast and counters, but again, take the air out the tires.
Yeah. So would you say it would be the first fight where Clarissa's gonna be on the back foot most of the time?
I would say so, because most of the time, if you pay attention, she start off on the back foot as the girl tries to get aggressive and wild with her. And once the counters start to pile up, she be the one on the front foot. She be the one attacking the other girl. That's usually literally all her fights go the same way. At first, she'll let the girl make a couple of mistakes, pop in the face, pop in the face, pop in the face. And before you know it, Clarissa's the one stalking the other girl. In this fight, it's different. It's real. It's just, I see how it's going to look.
Is very aggressive and a bit reckless enough to where she'll go at you if it's cautious aggression. She'll go at you if she knows nothing heavy is coming back.
Yeah, because she don't. Because
two rounds, that's all it's gonna take.
This is something that I like that Savannah's doing. That I just noticed that it works. Like, I remember when Marco Huck pushed Usyk before they fight. And Usyk didn't say no fly shit. Like, he took like, oh, it's like that. I got you, right? He didn't say shit. He didn't say shit.
He said, I was gonna beat you a little bit easier, but now I got you.
And what I see with Savannah is, I'm not gonna waste a lot of energy yelling at you and trying to win a shouting match. I'm not like, it's cool. Talk. You talk a lot. Talk. Go ahead. Talk. If that make you, I'm saving mine for the fight.
Guess who else is doing that?
Shut up, bro.
I knew you were gonna get it.
What's going on? Hey,
fuck up out here, bro.
Polo said you easy work, Esau.
I'll rinse Polo's little bitch ass.
In the chat, I think he wants to get in.
Easy work.
Let me see who?
Leo.
Oh,
My guy Gennadi's like, all right.
Bro, listen, let me say this, because I seen Peanut. Shout out to Peanut on Twitter. He tried to make that same connection, and here's where y'all fucking up at.
Nah, I'm talking shit.
No, this is for Peanut. This ain't even for you. It's really for Peanut. Listen, that dude is fucking 40, my guy. And him and Canelo, like, Canelo already beat him when he was younger. Like, I know the first one was controversial. I'm with you. I believe Gennady won the first one. But the second one, no, that's different. And that motherfucker was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So if you didn't get it done then, I don't believe you gonna get it done now. You had to go through the gears for Murata at 60. You had to go through the gears for that guy, bro. That guy hurt you. I seen it. He hurt you to the body more than once. So I'm like, nah, fam. I can't pick him. I can't pick him.
I'm calling for Triple G, but I don't think he's gonna win.
I can't pick him, bro.
How is he gonna win?
I
How
can't.
is Triple G gonna win? If somebody picks Triple G, tell me how he gonna do it.
Esau, go ahead. You tell him.
I'm right here. I'm right here.
I'll tell you too.
Tell us how he's gonna do it.
Towards Triple G again.
Drew, you go first. I'm gonna eat some food real quick. Go first, Drew. I'm listening.
Oh,
no, I'll go first. I'll go first.
No, go ahead. You go. I was just gonna say we haven't. There's been 24 rounds. I can unbiasedly say I'll admit nobody's dominated them if we're just looking objectively.
True, I agree.
Although I prefer, if scoring it again after watching the second fight again, I've seen Triple G win more rounds than Canelo convincingly.
I'm okay with that because my thing is this. I don't think that I think he's going to be okay in terms of, he gets to have a camp that's more about what he's going to apply than making weight, that's good. That you get to focus on strategy because you don't got to cut the other 8 pounds. This going to be at 68. Though at the same time, you don't normally go into a fight that heavy and you're fucking old and slower and throw less. You do throw less punches than you used to. I watched you. I see that you throw less punches than you used to. And 2, you don't take the punches as good. So that extra weight that he gonna have, I feel he gonna be slower even.
I mean, Jules, does he have to come in at 68? Can he come in at 64?
Do you think he's gonna come in at 64?
No,
I mean,
in
terms of being heavy, but
I'm just saying that. Are you expecting that he gonna be like, nah, what we gonna do? We gonna cut down.
Nah.
No, I'm expecting him to just come in his best shape, but it's one of those things. Until I see it, until I visually see this man.
You've seen it against Murata. He looked bad. He looked old and slow.
No, I saw enough to know, like, okay, he was just getting.
Let me give you a different look. All right, Canelo went up to 175, right? And you see that he looked a little slower. You seen that you're not popping, you're not sharp because you carrying that 75 against a dude that's real quick, real fights on the balls of his feet. He's in and out. He don't just stand on his whole foot, sitting on all his punches. No, he moved, right? And you look slow and sluggish. Now, Golovkin is 40. What you think he gonna look like?
Okay, but you're comparing 15-pound difference to 8-pound. That's a lot.
When he rehydrates, what he gonna weigh, Eson?
Okay, but you're talking about gain.
I'm asking you if they 60. Listen. If he is 68 at the weigh-in, what's he gonna be at the fight?
Probably hydrate to like low 170s.
All right, now low 170s. Does he normally fight carrying that much weight?
He normally comes.
Gennadi's weighed in at 173 for most of his fights afterwards.
All right, bro. All right, look, the bet stands. If
I had to ask exactly how much he weighed for Murata.
I'm not saying anything up there. I'm just saying, he usually weighed in around 170.
I'm just telling you that's an old ass man that don't normally carry that much.
And I don't disagree.
Well, he got old man strength.
My point is, until I see this man get dropped or get stopped, I won't believe it happens.
Well, it's the first time for everything. I don't know why it's so hard for people to.
I mean, there's a chance that Canelo gets dropped
because, like I was telling Eson,
being real,
Canelo got points and credit for just coming forward and not even being effective.
Exactly. That's what happened in the second fight. I thought Triple G controlled the distance with his jab. That's the thing. That's the one part that he landed with irregularity.
Let me
but what do your eyes tell you? Like everybody's saying, but what do your eyes tell you? What did you see against Murata?
What did you see when you lose Murata? When he takes it deep into water.
Can I answer Frank's question? This is what my eyes tell me, right? Simple, right? What happened to Canelo is about to happen to you. Literally, what happened to Canelo at 75, it's not an excuse, it's just reality. It happens to fighters that climb too high, right? You picked the worst time in the world to go up to 168 against the worst guy to go up to 68.4. Yeah, this dude knows you, fam.
Man, you know what? Maybe Jules, maybe he didn't, because you know what? After that, he'll retire and be laughing all the way to the bank.
Well, yeah, I mean, but we talking about the outcome, and what I'm saying is, look, you talking about a 40-year-old fighter, right? That he was in a war his last fight. To Frank's point, it's reality. You got hit a lot in that fight. You did. And you got hurt 2 times to the body in that fight. And you look slow in that fight. With more weight, on your body that you carrying, you gonna look slower.
Well, my uncle taught me
Or
reflexes. Like your reflexes are
Is he
not the
gonna
same.
is he
People
gonna
No, he
look
was
slower
doing
never
or
take
will
that into
he
he was
account.
be
doing the
slower?
Cambosis game plan. Make it look like he's getting beat. So when the next
wait a
fight,
second. Wait a second. There is another side to that coin. As you get older, your body retains water more. I'm sure we all know this. So Gennady, like, sure, we can say years ago, fucking, oh, he didn't weigh that much post weigh-in, but he's 5 years older now. Your body's gonna naturally be putting on weight as you get
So
older.
Yeah,
you
but
saying
every
that because he has more water in his stomach, he'll take the punches better? Like I don't even know.
No, it's not what I'm saying.
You
I'm
know
saying that the
what?
weight cut is
There
gonna
might be
be.
truth to that
No,
because you know Andy
I'm
Ruiz is
saying
built
that
like a
the
waterbed.
Yeah,
I'm saying
that's
that the
true.
weight cut is gonna.
Bro, I'm just being real with you. I'm just being real with you.
I
That
didn't
look.
get to fucking finish my point. Damn.
All right, go ahead.
Jesus Christ, you know. No, but I was saying that because he's gonna.
man. You know what you're talking about.
Oh shit! Here
Is
comes
that
Polo.
Polo?
That's Polo. He snuck
Bro,
through the back.
Bro,
Snuck through the back door.
Polo's a retarded little fucking gooter that used to get bullied by Art Man, bro. I'm not talking to this fucking kid.
Oh, come on.
Bro, listen. You know why I fuck with Julius? You know why I fuck with Julius? His man lost, and he was a real man. He paid his money, and he kept it going. Now my guy lost. You know what Polo does? You know what bitch made Polo does? He goes and runs off the internet for 2 weeks. He runs off the internet for 2 weeks. He don't join no spaces. You don't play no chats.
Hold on, wait a minute. Come on.
Canelo lost.
We got chill. Listen, Eson.
okay, no, we gotta moderate.
Listen, Eson. Wait, let me talk. Eson.
Got beat up by a prostitute. About,
Wait, greatest? What the fuck have I ever been the greatest fan?
Yeah, you
Polo.
Okay, hold on.
Polo.
Let me get this in.
Because Canelo lost. Because Canelo lost. Now, whenever a guy somebody likes loses, you know what Polo does as a response? You guy lost. He lost. As if they care as much as Polo enough to go cry on the internet.
Hold on. Hey.
The same shit, bro.
Hold on.
Who did I cry on
Get this shit under control, Drew. Get this shit under control.
Hold on. It sounds like we got a match for the #1 contender of the Halal Intercontinental Belt. Is that?
That's what I was going to say. Look, no, wait. Let me. Don't nobody talk. The winner of this match becomes the mandatory challenger for Sawab.
Yep.
What about Frank?
You know what I'm saying? The winner of this match gets the challenge to Wild for the Intercontinental Breakfast
What match? Polo can't debate me and shit. He's a fucking retard. He can't debate me and shit.
No. Look, in all seriousness,
and the international falafel belt too.
All right, in all seriousness,
Polo's my boy.
Chill. In all seriousness, a big part of the reason that I'm picking Canelo to knock him out this time is because, to Frank's point, which is also true, he's slower, bro. You're not gonna get those hands up as high or as fast as you need to, as you could before. And you're gonna be carrying more weight than you normally carry. And you was just in a war in your last fight.
It's reflexes. Let me just reflexes. Every athlete will tell you. Wait. Every athlete will tell you as they get older, your brain don't process the same. When the pass you used to catch, the ball used to hit, you're late. You're a split second late. So there goes your skills, and it's the reflexes.
And we can't forget. This is another thing. Eson. Hold on. Let me say this. Like no trolling. Remember, Eson. He looked that way with a dude. He was fortunate that Ryota Murata was coming off of inactivity as well. And you still
but so was he.
Say it again.
So was Triple G though. To be fair,
yeah, but I'm saying like Golovkin was
but
too.
It's like, bro, he still got the pop though. Like, but Golovkin is getting stuff though. And Nissan knows I'm a Triple G fan. He's seen me arguing with these dumbass fanboys on the timeline, like fans. Like, yeah, bro. Like,
yeah, but what I'm saying, Polo. This is the thing, right? You were fortunate. You know, he was fortunate that he had a good dance partner that could accommodate his circumstances. That, yeah, you know, I've been inactive a while, but at least you have been inactive a while also, which is cool, right? That means they on even terrain. But you look human with an inactive dude. You see what I mean? Now you going in there with an angry Canelo that he want to make a statement. And I firmly believe, he going to make a statement on you, fam. He gonna treat you the way he wanted to treat Bivol. And you 40. I don't really think you can shake and bake him. I don't.
Hey, Julius.
Hey, it's gonna be a great fight while it lasts. Fuck it. Whoever lose. Whoever wins. Fuck it. That's kind of like it's gonna be a great fight. I think regardless. So I mean, that's
Can I
all we
say
can really.
something?
It's going to be a
Yeah,
better
that's what I'm
fight
thinking,
than
bro.
Caleb's
Let's be
plan. It's
realistic.
going to be a
Yeah.
better fight
as
than
boxing
BJ
fans-
Saunders.
Let me just say this. There's one thing that I know nobody has brought up on this channel. Does it make a difference that Canelo has fought naturally bigger, harder punchers at 168 and 175? Now he's going into the Triple G third fight. Doesn't that make a difference, though?
I believe it gives him
Who
the
at
right.
68 punched harder than
him.
Golovkin?
It helps him. It helps him.
Who at 68 punched
Kovalev.
harder than
Now
Golovkin?
wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Like Isan, let me say this, right? Golovkin sat down with Akim Barak very recently, was last week, and they asked him about, would you go up and fight Bivol? And his answer said it all, bro. He tried to let
I don't expect him to.
but now let me say that. No, wait a minute. Let me say this without interruption. Okay, so you don't expect him to do what Canelo just did and finish the fight on his feet?
Never. He didn't even want to fight. What's his name?
Oh wait a second. Are you saying? Wait, no, wait. I'm not saying I think Bivol would stop Triple G. I'm saying that I don't expect Golovkin to go there in general. But I'm saying, would you shut the fuck up for a second, kid?
To be honest, the thing about Golovkin.
But fucking I don't expect Golovkin to go up there.
No, Isan, this is, in other words, this is what I mean. In other words, this is what I mean. They're in very different places, man. This kid Canelo just came from 175, and yeah, he got beat. He got outboxed, but he finished that fight on his feet at 175. Golovkin is not in a place where you could even dream of doing that. You'll get murdered up there, bro. You too old and you too small.
He's
reality.
He's old now, but he old now.
I don't know if Bivol would stop. I don't think Bivol would stop Triple G. I don't think Bivol would stop Triple G. I don't think he would.
Bro,
you like him a little bit too much, Easton. That's all I'm gonna say.
Because Bivol's not a finisher. He don't finish nobody. He'll beat him, but I don't think he'll finish him.
But we're not talking about Bivol. We're talking about Triple G moving up. That's what you're missing. Like Triple G is moving up.
Wait. Julius is literally talking about a Triple G bit. He says that Triple G wouldn't finish on his feet.
All right, Easton. This is the point that I'm making, right? Canelo Alvarez had to try his best to hold back a light heavyweight wave that was whooping his ass, right? Right? Now you just went life or death at middleweight with Murata. So you don't think that matters? They're like,
that is true. That is true.
You had to go through the gears at middle with Murata. This kid had to try to hold back a light heavyweight.
No, that is true. I didn't think about that. Yeah.
In his prime. And Julius, I gotta ask you, who the fuck is Easy? Don't talk about him. Like, who the fuck is this weirdo, bro? Like, you know who this is?
What's his name? What's the dude's name?
Dimes. I'm like, bro, I have a feeling I know. Easy Dimes, EASY last name that he's talking about pay your debt. I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about? Who is this weirdo?
I don't know that dude, to be honest with you. I don't know who that is. I don't recognize that name.
I have a feeling,
put it this way,
bro,
Triple G lucky he's not fighting Benavidez. Imagine with
God, stop it over here.
No, I'm talking about the size. Dude, you're talking about a dude 6'2" throwing hammers.
Can I say this? Look, we all know Golovkin's career, right? And we know that going up in weight, he has always been very particular about who he would be, who he would go up and wait for, right? Whereas Canelo, he already did that 68 shit. Like he already did that shit. And then
he's been ahead of that.
Let me finish. He already did that. Really, he did that 60 whatever, that super middle bullshit. He did that with Chavez first, then Rocky Field goal. Then he went for the undisputed, right? So he not no stranger to that division. He not like that shit ain't shit to him. Like, bro, I've been did that. You haven't even done that yet. You only went up for Steve Rose. Then you went right back down.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It was the only people Triple G wanted to go up to 68 for was the Carl Froch fight or when Ward came back to HBO right away. That was it, right?
Yeah. That was it. That was it. Like in other words,
I mean, to his credit, those were the two guys. To his credit, though, those were the two guys.
All I'm saying is you can't convince me that a 40-year-old hold on, you can't convince me that a 40-year-old fighter is prepared to fight off a wave at that weight. Like, nah, fam, that's
And I can
Canelo's
dig
best
it.
weight.
I can dig it.
I
Like
know
Julius,
G.
I'm not
got
disagreeing with what you're saying right now. Just so you know, like I
Yo,
understand.
IQ, I want to ask these dudes, what did they see against Murata that convinced them he was ready to kill Canelo? Like, what did you
Triple G
see?
is not going up any higher in
Nothing.
weight,
Let me say
It's
this.
fanboys.
Wait,
It's fanboys.
Leo ain't get the
Let
chance
Leo
to
get
talk.
it.
Leo ain't get the chance to talk. Leo, go ahead.
let me say this. This last fight, the Triple G versus Murata fight, might be the worst tune-up for a Canelo Alvarez fight.
Mm.
The worst, because Murata doesn't fight in any particular aspect similar to Canelo. Murata went there with no head movement, with no counterpunching abilities. He stood there and took the barrels of shots that Golovkin gave him once,
Hey,
again and again and again.
I remember cats were thinking Murata to beat Triple G too.
I remember that.
Bro, you don't
Kelly.
Look,
So who Mike is that?
Yeah,
Bro,
who is that, man?
Who is that?
listen something,
bro.
Okay, go ahead, Leo. Go ahead, Leo. No, everybody mute your mics. Go ahead, Leo.
If Triple G would have fight someone like Charlo, I know Charlo is not in the same level as Canelo, but Charlo came with a decent set of feet, with a decent jab, with decent counter puncher abilities. So if Triple G would have beaten even on points, I could say, okay, he can at least hang up with Canelo for 12 rounds. But that Murata fight, for me, told me that no, you don't have it anymore.
He doesn't have. That's what I mean. That I'm like, there's no way I could watch that fight. And it was a great fight, by the way. Like, just entertainment wise,
Yeah, that was a fun fight.
It was a fun fight. But looking at the guy that I saw, ain't no motherfucking way you gonna go to 68 and then rehydrate to 175 or 180, and you gonna have the speed to keep them shots off. Like, nah, no way.
He's not.
Hey, Julius, I just want to say, I ain't disagree with nothing y'all say. Everything you guys are saying this whole time is valid as fuck. There's no disagreement from my side. Like I know we got to bet and everything on picking G, but you know me, I'm not like delusional. Like I see everything you guys are saying, and like I agree. There's a good chance
ready, boy.
Can I steal, man? Can I steal, man? Eson's argument.
Nobody's wrong. Like, nobody's wrong. If
you owe me money, bitch.
Listen, if Triple G's still jabbing him, if he's still controlling the jab, it's going to be harder for Canelo to get in there. The point is this.
Look, and I feel
Here's
you.
the thing.
That's true.
Can I steal, man?
Hold on. Listen. You're not listening. Shut up, Minnesota. The nuance of this fight is what's the nuance of this fight is what's intriguing. The story.
Right, let me say this. Right, one thing that really changed from the first Golovkin Canelo fight till now is that Golovkin, his best weapon, which really for me has always been his money punch, is he doesn't throw the jab at 2 times the middleweight average anymore. He doesn't pump it out as much as he used to. You can see that in the Murata fight, that he doesn't jab as much as he did in the Lemieux fight, the Monroe fight, the Dominic Wade. Like, you don't, and that was what convinced me that he beat Canelo. That, like, you landed a lot of fucking jabs on that kid, bro. Like, that was the punch that really sold it for me. You don't do that the same way anymore, bro. You don't do none of the shit you do the same way you did before. So if we looking at them, in other words, them first 2 fights, they don't mean shit to me ahead of this one, like you, because you not that guy no more.
But this is what I'm saying. We have to add to the fact that, like, Canelo coming off a loss, I know he wants to make a statement. He wants to get that back. Yeah. And you mentioned this. Him coming pressing forward, he can get caught. Him being a little reckless. Possible. So that's why I think this fight's going to be better than the other 2.
And that's why I think he's going to stop Golovkin.
And if I'm handicapping it, okay, I still give it a 65-35 in Canelo's favor of knocking him out.
Who getting signals from Saturn? Who Mike is that they getting signals from?
That's Esau.
He's not going to run over Triple G the way he did Callum Smith, the way he did Billy Joe, the way he did Caleb. He's not.
But you also got to figure that Canelo, like I said
Spread.
earlier, he's taking harder shots. And I like you, Isan. I wouldn't lie to you, man. When somebody gets punched by a naturally bigger 175 pounder and stays on his feet, and 68 will even go to there, like if he's taking shots and he's punching back, then his punch is not going to be the same than when he first fought.
I mean, I'm just saying, from Canelo's own mouth, he said Triple G and Bivol's punches are like the same. I'm just saying.
And what I'm trying, all right, now what I'm trying to tell you, right, is Canelo is comparing the punches that Triple G hit him with 4 years ago. Not what he throwing now. What he talking about when I
mean,
fought
power's
him.
the last to go.
Yeah, but speed and reflexes,
Bro,
that goes first, right?
Can I add?
Yeah, but
something?
Golovkin's never been a speedy guy. It's his timing.
All right, bro. I tried, bro. I tried.
No, like, bro, like,
Can I
you're trying to like,
can I help Steelman Isan's
you're trying to like
argument?
act like I'm not like hearing what you're saying. Like, I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm just giving you like some other facts.
I mean, but do y'all really think he's gonna run through him easier than he did Caleb Plant?
Yes, because
No.
it's not the same Canelo.
Post Kovalev, Canelo doesn't even throw as many feints anymore. He barely uses jab. Like one of his flaws that has developed over the last couple of fights is that he loves his power, and I think Golovkin still has a relatively decent chin, and I think that in the Murata fight he was at least moving his legs. So I get it. He is Pawpaw Golovkin, but he still has a ring savvy. He still has
Ring. Can I say something real quick? Can I say something? These dudes, like everybody thinks, oh, because they pressure Floyd, that's how you beat him. But you have to have that ability. Like, what is, like you? Nobody said what Triple G's gonna do. Like you keep saying,
Nobody
well,
did
Canelo
though.
lost.
Let
So
me
how's he
say
gonna
this.
beat him?
Let me say this to Frank's point, because that's the same point that I'm trying to make. Y'all look into the past at a Triple G that is not here. That's not the Triple G that's here right now. So when Canelo marches forward in a high guard, looking to catch and shoot, right? Canelo still got speed. He's still durable. We just saw that. He was at fucking light heavyweight in his last fight. He still got that. So when he marched forward in the high guard, and he want to catch and shoot, what is Golovkin going to do?
And the first thing Triple G is going to lean on is that it don't matter if he's coming forward with a catch and shoot. The man spent 24 rounds with him. He knows his timing. So he's going to have to work off the jab. And then we're going to see what happens from there.
Listen.
Canelo
The
can take
2-1
those shots from Bivol, dude. I don't know what Triple
But what
G
I'm saying,
can do.
Canelo takes the shots, but every time you hit Canelo with a jab, he has to reset. Canelo cannot make.
They keep putting the horse before the cart.
Listen. Canelo
right?
don't make in-fight adjustments. He stuck to the whole fucking game plan, the whole fight against Bivol.
Yo, let me tell you. So how much you? Wait. Yeah, y'all shut the fuck up. Wait, y'all shut the fuck up. Drew, so how much money you got on Golovkin?
Okay, I got. Who wants? I'll go 200 with you, Jules.
No, don't go 200
Are you and Canelo?
I'm just saying.
How confident are you and Canelo?
Wait. I'm trying to understand what I'm hearing because this sound.
Jules, I hear what they're saying. Can I say it real quick? Can I say what they're saying? Okay, they're trying to say, oh, well, like Floyd would say, oh, the blueprint. You got the blueprint. But you have to have the guy with the ability to fulfill it. That's not the same dude.
That's what Triple G claimed in the past, is that he had the blueprint to beat Canelo.
Look, let me put it to you another way, right? Golovkin's best chance to knock this guy out was either depending on how you look at it, was either the second fight or the first fight. What do I mean? In the second fight, he came forward and he opened up more so you could get off more power shots. You couldn't take him out then, and he was opening up. Now, in the first fight, we understood that, well, it's a little harder to knock the guy out because he keep fucking moving away. That shit, all of that shit, was 4 or 5 years ago, bro.
Well,
That
hey,
is true.
you know what?
That is true.
Carlos A in the chats just said it, and I was thinking it earlier, but I didn't say it, is that every great fighter has one last great fight left in him. Maybe, who knows? I mean, on boxing, any given night.
Okay, that was the Murata fight.
And that's why Julius.
Fuck out of here.
Y'all, what is Julius's favorite line? That
was a Murata
fight.
Hell no, it wasn't no Murata fight. Come on.
That's why we fight.
Julius.
Yeah, that wasn't the Murata fight, dude.
Well, I'm just listening. All right, can I say this? All right, this is all I'm trying to communicate.
It was a Steve Rhodes fight.
That's funny as hell.
All I'm trying to say is who the guy who I see, whose mic is that? I mute your mics. What I saw is that Canelo is more prepared for Golovkin because he just fought a naturally bigger dude. It's kind of like when you go to the gym and you pick up the heavyweights first and then you pick up the other joints. Them other joints ain't gonna feel like shit. Well, I just fucking fought a light heavyweight, bro. I fought a light heavyweight in his prime, right? You ain't gonna feel like shit compared to that because I just fought a light heavyweight. Now, you fought Murata, which Leo made a valid point. Murata ain't no motherfucking Canelo, fam, and you had to lump him up to stop him. Like, it wasn't even like he was having success, bro. So I just don't see what y'all see, man. Like, I'm like, yo, I see Canelo gonna come forward in that high guard, and he's gonna drill him to the body. Because by now everybody knows. Everybody knows.
More than likely he will, because Triple G doesn't like
Julius,
it.
Julius, remember they were saying Murata beats Triple G because Roman Gonzalez said it? Oh, Roman Gonzalez picked Murata, so he's gonna beat Triple G. I mean,
yeah,
Murata
I remember that, but that's only because
hyping him up more than.
Yeah, but that's only because Roman knows him because of taking promotions like that. Like they go way back. Roman and a lot of Japanese fighters, they go way back. So it's not
Can I
even
ask something.
Go ahead.
So what's up with that bet between you and Drew? How confident are you on Canelo? Is the question.
I'm not betting, bro. I'm not betting $200. Fuck that. Well, I got a bet with you already.
All right.
And I'll only take that bet with Jules because I don't trust Polo, so I can't take that bet with Polo.
Nah, I don't trust Polo. He don't pay his bets. He the ass better. He's from Minnesota.
Can we agree?
He's from
Can we
Minnesota.
agree that if there's Canelo don't make the adjustments in between the fight?
But that's what I'm asking Drew. So your official pick for the fight, let's get it right because it's not that far away.
No, everybody's annoying me, so I am going with Triple G just on pride now. Because everybody's
Thank you, Drew.
Check this out, though.
Thank you, Drew.
I only started defending Canelo because of Mexican allegiance and people hating on him. If you go through my Twitter timeline, I've been calling him a drug cheat since he's been a fucking Chiva and dumped the WBC.
I dig that, but what does that have to do with a 40-year-old Golovkin?
I'm allowed to make an LDBC pick.
Bro, I got
an NBC pick. An NBC pick.
I'm about to make an LDBC pick. Mexicans for Golovkin, like my boy Sal did with the shirt.
All right, let me read this. Aaron Kuko says, awesome conversation going on right now. Triple G's going to land a pull counter, hurt Cinnamon bad, then finish him on the ropes. Listen, I just saw them. Wait, nobody say nothing, please. Nobody say nothing. I just saw Dimitri Bivol. Not only did he put Canelo on the ropes, he was going ham, fam. Like, he was throwing all type of shit. And if Bivol couldn't really get through, I don't see a 40-year-old Golovkin getting through. I'm just being honest. Like, that's crazy to me. Like,
can I say something? Just to spice this.
Bro, Triple G's getting stopped, man. This is the same fan base that still think Lomachenko's pound for pound, man.
What are you talking about?
No one's even.
Wait.
You don't even know.
Yeah, like who's talking about Lomachenko?
We saw
Triple G and Lomachenko got this.
Hold on, y'all let Leo go.
So come on, bro.
We saw the Canelo fight versus Vivo. We saw it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Canelo not only looked like he wasn't on Vivo's level in terms of power and size. Canelo looked gassed the fuck out. I never seen Canelo so tired, not even in the Absent Cloud fight.
But also,
and look.
Listen,
everyone here supposed that Canelo was looking that way because the other way. I have the feeling that it's not because that.
What was it?
I have the feeling might be his diet, might be it's the fact that it's not the fact. Maybe it's not in clenbuterol anymore. So I will not be surprised if Canelo goes to the Triple G fight and it doesn't look like the guy it doesn't look like the guy in the second fight, throwing punches and bunches.
Okay, then let me say this. Maybe you're right. I'm not even because we just don't know at the end of the day. And no, I do not dismiss the possibility that he is on clenbuterol. It's a dirty sport, period. It just is, bro. It's bigger than me. It's a dirty sport. But what I'm gonna say is Canelo, I don't think he's gonna throw punches and bunches. I think I see him throwing singles, hard singles. I don't see him mixing it up. I see catch and shoot,
Work.
hard
That's not gonna
singles
work.
to the body.
Hey, Julius.
That's the problem. That's why I don't think he can. That's why I think he might lose. That right there.
But his,
Listen, guys, I've been hearing to what you guys saying. You've been covering this from all angles, and it seems more logical that Canelo is going to win.
Definitely.
Listen. Golovkin's best hope has happened in the last two fights. He has to take Canelo to deep waters. Once you do that, Canelo gets tired, and now you get off your shots. I don't see that happen in the third fight.
No,
because I just see bad intentions from Canelo.
So what you're telling me is you don't see it going past. You don't see it getting to round 8.
You know what,
No.
Drew? Let me say this.
Bro,
Drew, let me
and-
say this.
bro, and
Wait,
Triple G
let me
was tired in the
let me
Murata
talk.
fight.
Let me talk.
Yo,
Let
calm
me
down, man.
talk.
Calm
Let me
down.
talk. Let me talk. Virtuoso's raising a valid point, and what I want you to do, Isan, is go back and watch the Murata fight. If Golovkin has to try to throw punches and bunches to keep Canelo off, you think he's not gonna get tired before Canelo? What god do you think he is, fam?
Yeah, but then you gotta factor in that he's not coming off that crazy layoff, which he started hella
Yo,
slow.
Golovkin is gonna have to blood dope for this one.
Yeah, no,
Fuck it.
but
I
I
think
think
it's
you know
he's
what?
gonna
See
he's
it.
gonna
Like
no,
I know
Murata
Canelo
has
is gonna win, but I hope he pulls a fucking Marquez. That's it.
Murata got a better gas tank than Canelo.
but what you guys seem,
Ooh,
what you guys
you might
seem to
not be
be,
wrong.
what
You
you
don't throw a
guys,
lot of
I
punches,
disagree.
bro.
what you
Telling
guys,
you.
Hail Mary.
It might not be.
but what you all seem to be missing is how often has Triple G fought since his last fight with Canelo?
Exactly.
And another thing is, has Canelo learned any new tricks since his last fight with Triple G? Like, has
Not
he gotten
much.
better stylistically?
Not really,
Not
no.
immensely.
No. Well,
No.
arm punches. Arm punches, that's it.
He just
Nah,
loads
that's
up the shots more.
You don't think he's mastered angles more? You don't think his footwork's gotten
Bro,
No,
listen.
not at
All
No,
right,
no, he's been wearing
let
a
me
knee
say
brace,
something.
bro.
Let me do a quick little thing for you guys. Let me. Canelo does not use his full skill set anymore, and it's a fact. He does not sit there, catch and shoot with guys as much as he used to, like with multiple punches. One reason he gave Triple G so much problems was because he was punching with him a lot of times, but even then, he wasn't really able to keep up with Golovkin because of that stiff jab that was effortlessly hitting him. So now that the dude's throwing less punches, he throws many less punches. Golovkin threw like what 960 or like 690 with Murata, and Canelo threw like 4 something with Callum Smith the whole 12 rounds.
But you
So
all,
it's like you can, and I'm not saying that means he's gonna win the fight, but it gives you an idea that he's still throwing many more punches in this
and
guy.
I did. Yo, listen, I dig what you saying, but you know all I gotta do to
But
know
that can get him stopped late.
Fam, wait. Can I talk now? I heard you, right? But if I turn on Murata versus Golovkin and I look at this old ass man trying to work it out, I'm like, nah, fam. Y'all wilding. Like, y'all, like, can I say this? Y'all sound crazy to me. Like, this is like some fucking Heaven's Gate cult. It sounds like y'all really think this old ass man that had to go through these gears at 160 with Murata. All right, Canelo just fought a light heavyweight. If you put him in there with a 40-year-old middleweight moving up in weight, oh, this is a breath of fresh air. This will walk through the posies. This will walk through the daisies. This shit.
Go through the tulips.
Exactly. Thank you. Country wet my mouth. This is thrown through the tulips.
and Julius, you've said it before. You have to be a skilled fighter to move up. That's what I keep pointing out. Canelo has gotten more skillful with his boxing because he's fought bigger men consistently.
And thank you, William, because this is the point I want to make. Let me make this point. If it were so easy for Golovkin to do the same things that Canelo has done, he would have done them. While Canelo was going through his issues with Golden Boy and just all of that bullshit. If it was so easy to move up and beat Callum Smith, you would have did it. If it was so easy to move up and beat Billy Joe, you would have did it. If it was so easy to beat Caleb Plant, you would have did it. If it was so easy to move up and beat Kovalev, you would have did it. You didn't do none of that shit, fam.
That is true. That is true.
Julius,
my retort to that is
Julius,
my retort to I agree with Julius, but my retort to that is he didn't have to.
Neither did Canelo.
Canelo was able to pick and choose who he fought, just like Triple G.
So was Golovkin. Don't say that. Don't say it's different.
No, on a lesser level, he didn't have to.
Golovkin, look. In other words, Canelo didn't need to go. Canelo didn't need to go. He did that because he wanted to.
Yeah,
he did that because he wanted to. Now, he never had to. He never had to fight Bivol. And the main thing that sells it for me is that while Canelo Alvarez lost to a fucking light heavyweight, that's gonna make that 40-year-old middleweight feel like a goddamn TV dinner. Like, bro, I fought fast ass light heavyweight. I couldn't hit him with shit. You're 40. You're old and slow. All right. You not the dude I fought in 2018. And that's really what I think everybody's missing. That y'all keep looking at him through a lens of what he was and not what he is. You was getting hurt by Murata, my guy.
And we're not saying that Canelo is the end-all, be-all, but we are saying superior skill-wise and strength and endurance-wise.
What do you mean skill-wise? Skill-wise, I saw him punching Bivol's arm. That wasn't skill.
He lost to a light heavyweight.
But no. We're not going to do that. I'm talking about skill. He made no in-fight adjustments. I'm talking Minnesota.
Polo, chill, bro.
You say skill.
He's doing too much right now, bro.
You say skill, but where was that skill in the light heavyweight fight when it came time to go to a different game plan when what you were doing wasn't working?
Well, let me say this. This is why it's not fair to say that, right? This is why I don't really hold it against Canelo. What happened, because it's like, well, Canelo went up there and fought a light heavyweight. Golovkin, would you do that? They asked you about that, and you basically said no. So that told me all I needed to know.
No, I agree with you, Julius, but I'm talking specifically in that Bivol fight. When around round 4 or 5 comes, you see what you're trying to do to Bivol is not working, and he's up against the ropes. He took your best skill set away.
But how does that apply to Golovkin?
You're talking. No, you're
saying this all day.
You're saying specifically.
How does that apply to Golovkin?
You're not letting me finish. You're saying specifically Canelo's skills got better, and I'm telling you where.
But we're talking about him against Triple G.
He's regressed.
So how does that apply? How does that apply?
It's not even that. I feel like y'all overselling Triple G because he didn't do none of the things that Canelo did. See, this is my point. Canelo bit off more than he could chew, so he seems more vulnerable than a guy who's been playing it safe. And
I agree with you there. I'm saying,
when he decided to, remember, he petitioned the IBF to make Zeremata his mandatory. They never ordered that fucking fight. You asked them to, you asked them to make him your mandatory. And what I'm saying is, of course, Canelo looked human with a light heavyweight. Hey, Golovkin, when's the last time you fought one of those? Oh, you never did.
No,
so what the fuck would your old slow ass look like with a light heavyweight? What would you look like?
Can I answer?
And to what Isan said, the last time we seen Canelo show display his entire skill set was the Danny Jacobs fight.
I agree.
With that. What I'm saying is, you can't tell me you have more skill when it's Billy Joe Saunders, when it's Caleb Plant. Those are the guys.
No. Yes, you can. Yes, you can, and I'm gonna tell you why. How many crafty southpaws that have never been beaten has Golovkin fought since he fought Canelo? How many?
None.
So how could we say that he hasn't gotten better when this is the difference, right? We saw Canelo against a southpaw in different stages of his career. As a young man and a full-grown, full-blown pound-for-pound fighter, right? The Canelo that fought Billy Joe was a better Canelo than the one that fought Austin Trout, and then the one that fought Lara.
I agree. Canelo. And to Triple G's fault, we could have saw it, but he picked waiting for Canelo over fighting Billy Joe.
That's where he fucked up.
So when you say, because I'm hearing, the point that I'm hearing is that, you guys don't necessarily feel that he got better. I'm with Willie on this. I actually do think he got better because he had more experience against different types of fighters that are shaped different, that fight different, that have different punching power, different dimensions. It's not even close. Whereas Golovkin, you preserved yourself by playing it safe. If you would have been on the same diet as this guy, you probably would have got the shit beat out of you by now.
Thank you, Julius. You said literally what I wanted to say.
But what you're saying is skill. Like I don't see the skill when is making adjustments in the fight when something not working a skill.
I mean, it's not
It's
all
the
right.
most important skill.
That's the most important.
All right.
skill.
So, what adjustments? What fight has Golovkin been in where he made an adjustment?
Yeah, you have to adjust every fight when you fight somebody. You literally adjust every single fight.
No, it's been that long. I can concede that point. It's been that long that I can't even remember right now.
When you talk about an adjustment, in other words, okay, you didn't. I know for a fact he didn't make no adjustments with Sergey. Y'all was just going at it. You didn't adjust shit. You didn't adjust shit. You didn't have now. Let's go to the other guy. Okay, after Sergey, he fought motherfucking Zeremata. Well, you don't have to make adjustments for Kamil Zeremata. All right. Now with Ryota Murata, did you make any adjust? No, you didn't. You literally didn't. You knew what you were doing, and he said it. I was pacing myself for a 12-round fight. That's what I was doing.
Jules, has Golovkin's plan A worked most of the time? So where he's had not had to adjust
against lesser fighters.
Yes.
Against lesser fighters. In other words, if I pull up Billy Joe Saunders, right, I'm going to say, okay, Billy Joe Saunders is one of the guys that Canelo fought that's actually a pretty good boxer. Have you been fighting guys that's on that level? And you know the answer. No, Golovkin hasn't. Zeremata's not on Billy Joe Saunders' level. Murata is not on Billy Joe Saunders' level. No, he's not. Sergey.
Since their fight, they've both not fought anybody that's like each other. That's the main thing here. I'm not saying it benefits either. I'm just saying we all can agree they've not fought people that fought the same as each other, and it's gonna be like them again. It's just like
Canelo fought someone better.
That's really it. That's really it.
That's the thing. He fought someone better.
And he fought someone better, and he didn't even know what to do when his plan A wasn't working.
And that is true. But you can't. All right, but this is the disconnect for me, right? You saying that like Golovkin? I don't know that Bivol better than him. Fam, you saying that as if Golovkin would have beat the same Bivol Canelo fought.
No, I'm not. What I'm trying to say
is sounds that way though.
Okay, he just said it. He said, "Yeah."
No, what I'm trying to say is you're using him fighting Bivol as like, oh, he got better. He got his skills better.
No, I'm saying that
not
if
you.
This, all right, this is what I'm trying to say, right? If he was able to withstand the storm of a light heavyweight, even in defeat, you still didn't get dropped. You didn't get stopped. None of that happened. If he had enough durability to withstand that, I personally think, yeah, he can withstand a 40-year-old fighter that he's already fought 2 fucking times already. That's all I'm saying. Golovkin's not going to get fucking faster, fellas. No. Right? He's not going to get faster.
I
don't.
And he's not elusive. That's the thing. He's not elusive. He's gonna have. Canelo is gonna eventually find his range and find his rhythm. And it's up to Golovkin to weather the storm and make it to the championship round.
The shit is
not
crazy.
Even to the championship round. If Golovkin can make it to the 8th round, that's when he has to turn it up even more than the second fight.
Wait a minute.
Well, I don't know what to tell you, man. He's gonna have to start pumping that jab.
Then why did he do that the first 2 times? Like you trying to say, he's gonna figure it out in the 3rd time?
He did it. The first time Canelo had no answers for the jab.
I'm just saying that if what you're banking on now, and this, listen. It sounds like what Drew's saying is that Golovkin can knock him out if he turns up after a certain amount of time. And the reason that I cannot agree with that is, bro, if you were going to knock him out, it would have been years ago when you were younger. Not when you're fucking 40 and slow and losing hair. You know, he's losing hair.
No, this is one of those, and like I
said. What is it, Jules? Do you want him to come to the ring in a walker?
To be honest,
you might as well.
And like this is what makes this fight so big is the circumstances both fighters are coming into this fight with.
Hang on
we get to see, can the old lion do it one more time? We get to see is Canelo.
Bro, that old lion is gonna get, and I'm not saying it to be funny. Like I'm just being real. That like, look, he's not gonna get faster. His punches aren't gonna get snappier. Like, no.
And we
the
get
only
to
guy,
see, and we get to see if the Chivato cheater can finish the old man and push him off a cliff.
Wait. The only guy who could do what you guys are asking, thinking Triple G could do is Bernard Hopkins, and he would fight to like 45,
Yeah,
and he's
but
not
even
Bernard
Bernard,
Hopkins.
why did Hopkins? Because Hopkins was always a cerebral fighter with a style that ages well. Golovkin has always had a young man style, and when an old man has a young man style, you know what happens? You get Roy Jones Jr. That's what happens. That's what the fuck happens.
Hey Jules, you know what though?
We're gonna see if Triple G has one more Chocolatito performance.
Also, too, Triple G hasn't been
This is the year of the old man,
but he also hasn't taken as much punishment if he was fighting.
That's not true. That's not true. That Sergey Didivianchenko fight was a punishing fucking fight.
No, that was a. He took a year off. What did he take? A year and a half off after that?
Yeah, that was like 3
all right,
years
now
ago.
is he taking a year off after this Murata fight? No. And I saw, look, maybe y'all didn't see it. I saw him wince at least 2 times from them body shots, bro.
Yeah,
I seen it, like, bro, he's soft.
I did, and then once he woke up fully, I didn't see him wince the rest of the fight.
Because he was beating fucking Murata's head like a drum, fam. You think Murata's on the level of Canelo?
No, absolutely not.
Basically exposed a chink in the armor, and that's the body, and that's what it's all about.
What it sound like is, Jules, what it sound like these dudes are saying their main argument is that Canelo don't have skills or his skills eroded or something like that.
No one even uttered that.
Because that's what I'm hearing. That's what you said. You said, oh, his skills, he don't adjust. He didn't do this. He didn't do that.
Exactly. Somebody asked the question. I think it was Drew. He asked, has Canelo improved or shown? It was either Eson or Drew that asked it. Has Canelo improved since that Golovkin fight? And I'm like, yeah, he did, because look at the people that he fought. And if the argument is that Canelo's skills have eroded, haven't Golovkin's? Look at him, fam.
Hey, Julius, you mind if I answer real quick? How the hell do you get a split decision with Triple G, win how many titles, and you don't improve? Like, I don't understand where you get that off of. I never said anything about B-ball. You brought that up, bro. I was saying from the time
you said he went up to 175 and has skills to survive that.
No, I was referring, if you want to know, I was referring to the Sergey Kovalev fight, which he was very successful in, mind you.
We're gonna bring up an alcoholic Kovalev as a barometer of an elite. That's a prime Kovalev.
Hey, he laced up the gloves, man.
That's about
that ain't no prime Kovalev.
We add nuance on this channel. We add the circumstances.
But guess what? He's still Kovalev.
He's not.
Yes, he is.
How many times did he get knocked out before that?
He was the champion, wasn't he?
We're not. That's not. We don't do that on this channel. You know that.
All right. So let me ask you a question, Drew. I want to ask you a question. All right. The fights that was in proximity of each other, right? You had Golovkin versus Didivianchenko, and you had Canelo versus Sergey. Canelo versus Kova. Who was better, the Kovalev that Canelo fought, or the Sergey that Golovkin fought?
Sergey.
Yeah,
it was Sergey.
Yeah, we have to say. In other words, what I'm saying is, if you're gonna make an assessment of, okay, Canelo skills have eroded, I would say, they got better because he's been fighting better people and he's been winning. You know, it's only recently that he lost to Bivol, and more importantly, had he beaten Bivol, y'all would not be saying this.
No, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think I said they. I don't think his skills jumped to this all-time elite level where people are saying.
But I also think that the only reason y'all looking at him crazy is literally because he lost to a light heavyweight.
No, I was saying this.
No, I've always looked at him crazy ever since he popped dirty.
Come on, you on Clint Butterall too? We all are. What the fuck?
Hey, I'm on EPO.
No, but now, you could go through my Twitter timeline because my dad's fucking blows smoke up Canelo's ass. I respect Canelo, but every time he hasn't fully dominated his opponent, he's never tried to get that back unless it's Triple G, and then unless it's been Bivol. So we're gonna see if he dominates the old man the third. He's supposed to dominate him the third time, right?
And I'm just telling you that this is different. Like what I see is that people are gonna feel bad for Golovkin because that's how bad it's gonna be.
Now let me ask you this, Jules. If just by some fucking miracle it goes 12 rounds and it's close, are you gonna be not disappointed, but are you gonna be like, whoa, you couldn't push the old man over the cliff?
Yeah, honestly, if Canelo, let me put it to you this way, because I plays no games when it comes to this shit, right? You either gonna live up to my expectations or you're not. And if you're sitting here having a hard time with this fucking old man, yeah, I'm gonna be upset. I'm gonna be upset.
So you're saying this one. So
True.
Canelo could lose more by letting it go 12 and winning than he has a lot on the line right here.
Yeah, but
Man, if he loses, I just need I can't. Oh my god, if I'm
I
on this
just feel,
live,
honest to God, look, I think that the vote of confidence you guys are giving Golovkin has more to do with him being like, oh, he's a nice guy, you know. It's go ahead, Frank. Go ahead, Frank.
I'm giving Canelo more. I'm giving Triple G more of a shot than Billy Joe Saunders, more of a shot than Caleb Plant, and more of a shot than Callum Smith. That doesn't mean I'm favoring him. I'm going to pick him, but I can confidently say he has a better shot than those dudes.
I don't know, man.
At this age,
At that,
that's a tough one.
That's what I'm like, yo, dog. I see a situation where one thing that's not gonna change, right, is that Canelo's still gonna have his speed because he's in his prime, and this is literally his best weight. This is his best weight where he looked like, wow, bro, this dude is just, you can't do shit with him and you can't do shit to him at this weight. Whereas Golovkin's not gonna get faster, bro. Like he's not gonna suddenly nah, it don't work like that.
Yo, Jules, but man, these dudes keep talking about Canelo's skills, right? I just was gonna say something. What slugger can move up that has been able to carry the power and slug and win? The only guys who have moved up, we're talking about Pacquiao, Duran,
Cotto.
who else? Hopkins. They all got skills, so that means Canelo got skills. Like you can't
no
take
one's
that away.
saying
That's
he
the only
don't
way
have
you could move
skills.
up and compete against bigger guys.
No one's saying he don't have skills. They're not this light years ahead of everybody. That the way you're making it sound.
But it doesn't have to be light years to be the old man who went balls to the wall with Sergey. Listen, I had the Sergey Didivianchenko fight. 6-6 with Golovkin winning it because of the 10-8. All right, that man went life or death.
Yes, he did.
With Sergey Didivianchenko, bro.
I got a question for the
panel. Here's the thing. Trilogies are. We know how trilogies are. We know how rematches are. That's the caveat that I don't think we're reckoning. I know you're going to think it's going to be a different than those other two. They're not going to matter. But realistically, to those two guys in the ring, that history does matter.
Bro, all I'm going to say is, look, when Marquez fought Manny for the 3rd time, ain't even the 4th time, nobody was fucking 40 in them fights, bro.
But they were Jules. But hey, Jules, I'm not going to let you do that. Their bodies had been through 40 years of wars, though.
And what you think Golovkin body was just through with Murata at 40 getting hit like that?
So he's about the same age as them as they were in the 4th fight.
I will say one thing. I will say one thing. There ain't no rehydration clause.
No.
Can I ask something?
Good.
Okay, let's forget for 1 second that Triple G is all that fuck.
Mm-hmm.
There is any good valid point that why Canelo is gonna stop Golovkin? Because
I have one.
Look. When we saw the Derevyanchenko fight, Derevyanchenko doesn't fight like Canelo because 2 main reasons. One is world rate. Derevyanchenko has a better world rate than Canelo.
Agreed.
Another, the angles. Derevyanchenko was known before for using a lot of angles. Golovkin was really bothered by the constant movement of Derevyanchenko.
Mm-hmm.
Canelo doesn't use angles really. Just go straight forward. He step out of the center line, but he doesn't go to the side and try to catch guys.
Yeah, he doesn't turn the guy.
Yeah. So that's, for me, that's Golovkin's worst fight. I think he lost that fight. Can you see Canelo doing something similar?
Yes, because of the speed. And that's what nobody's talking about. That Canelo will be all right. The disparity in speed between Canelo and Golovkin in the first 2 fights wasn't really that much. Now it's wider because you're 40. You're 40. You're not going to get faster.
And Canelo's timing has gotten better significantly.
Okay,
This isn't like I feel like a crazy person.
no. I'm not disagreeing. I'm just telling you in terms of boxing, just boxing. Forget the age, because we go when you break down the Canelo versus Triple G one, you said like Triple G was going to stop Canelo.
Yeah,
Up-
I
up-
believe that he would have.
okay, I believe Triple G won that fight.
Me
And
too.
for me, the only thing that was missing from your prediction was the knockout. But
Yeah.
Triple G outworked Canelo very comfortably. Um, but the knockout never came. But that's something related to only to boxing.
Hmm.
Can we say something like that in the Canelo versus Triple G fight three?
All right, what I see. All right, my prediction for Canelo versus Triple G3. Get ready for this. All right, and I just said this, but I'll say it one more time so you can get a mental image. The disparity in speed, right? The arrival time of punches from the time you let them go to the time they arrive. Golovkin will have a delayed reaction. All right. You're gonna notice it that it's like, yeah, you're slow. You can't get your hands, you can't tuck your elbows fast enough to protect your body. You can't do it. You can't get your hands high fast enough to protect against the headshots. There's gonna be a disparity in speed, and I believe that's gonna play a major role. This is not like before. You don't shoot the jab 2 times the middleweight average, and because of that, you can't stop Canelo from coming after you. He's going to go in there like it's round 13 after the second fight. And the difference is you're 40.
I don't think that's a good idea. It's best as
We're
like if
gonna
he
see.
kind of takes
We're
it
gonna
easy
see.
first, you know.
And I agree with you with the speed, but
Hey,
Canelo's
Jules.
one of them fighters that in these two guys' setup, Canelo relies more on athleticism than Triple G.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can say that. It's all that's I mean that's always been the case with
Golovkin's
Golovkin.
always been economical.
But he throws more punches than
Jab,
Canelo. The
yeah,
jab, like
jab,
he's
Yeah,
more.
jab,
because like he keeps
jab
his punches
moves. You know,
short. Because
Yeah.
he keeps his punches short. Now
well,
Canelo likes to open up. He likes to
he's a
load his
And,
he has
shots.
long
and
power.
so
He
so
likes to
That's why I
reach.
don't think it's a good idea to just go at them
we're
like they're swinging
fella,
wildly.
we're
No.
surmising that Triple G's trainer is not saying what you guys are saying. Like, look, he's faster than you now. He's young. He's younger than you. This is what we have to do.
Hey,
The bank
Julius.
style is what he needs in a way.
Hey,
Now,
Julius.
I trust him more to survive with Banks than fucking what's his
Abel will
fucking
get him
Abel
killed.
Garcia, Abel Sanchez.
Abel will get him.
Well, can I
Abel will get
ask
him
a
killed.
question? Can I ask a question? Since he left Abel Sanchez, right? And I do agree that to some degree, Abel is not the guy you want in your corner, but he looked better with Abel. Just I'm being real with you.
Because
Like
he
he
was
looked
younger.
better with Abel,
He was
bro.
younger, Jules.
Yeah, but he did look better.
True, true.
But
You
because he
know,
was younger, though, that's like we all know. Listen, we all know the main issue with this fight is his age. So we have to, yeah, his age. We all know that's the problem. It's not his style.
he
It's
has
now
no.
it's his style
It
because of
is,
age.
but it
You know.
ties together, Isan.
Yeah, his
He
style
has.
don't translate.
He. You can't
Yeah,
have
no,
that.
I agree.
You can't have like in other words, Golovkin can't turn back the clock and be the same fighter that I feel beat Canelo. You can't be that guy. You don't even throw that many punches anymore. Two, you've been in wars. You had a war with Canelo. You had a fucking war with Sergey. You coming off a war with Murata because you got hit a lot in that fight. All right. There's no motherfucking way you gonna tell me that. Look, Canelo lost to a light heavyweight, but he never got dropped. He never got stopped, and he took some shots, but he was able to hang in there. Bro, you was at 160 languishing just now. You couldn't dream of going to 175. You couldn't dream that shit, son.
Hey,
Because
But
he
Julius.
don't
Julius,
have the size for that.
do you
He's
get
more
my
he's
point?
more self-aware than Canelo at least.
Hey, Julius. Let me.
Julius, do you get my point? We are basing. I agree with you, but we are basing all these predictions about Triple G getting stopped because Triple G is over. It's not the same, for example, with Caleb Plant. We
No.
knew, we knew that Caleb Plant wasn't on his level. Didn't have the experience, the ring IQ. Didn't have the power to keep
Mhm.
him off. He didn't have the work rate. So there was a lot of things that they give us the impression that Canelo was to stop talent plant. With Triple G, it's only one thing. It's a big thing, but it's only one.
Okay, can I say this, Leo? Look, what I see happening, and I just got the mental image, and I'm going with it. You know, y'all go with what y'all think. I'll go with what I think. I see that Triple G's gonna take a knee after a body shot.
That's what I'm thinking too.
He's gonna take a knee after a body shot, and then and he's gonna get up, and then he's gonna end up taking another knee, and then Canelo's just gonna go for a referee stoppage, and that's how it happens.
Yeah, that seems the most logical conclusion to the fight, to this whole trilogy.
And what I've been saying is, till I see it.
Hey, that would be a dope ass ending, though. Seeing Triple G with a knee and Canelo standing over him. That would be
it's the Colin Kaepernick.
That would be dope as fuck.
Like I don't see Canelo.
Like, even though I'm pulling for Golovkin, I want a good fight. That's all I really want.
I don't see Canelo doing like because Canelo put Caleb out for a couple of seconds. You know what I mean? And I don't see one of those, but I see that Golovkin is tough enough that he will try to weather the shot. He'll get up at 8 or 9, because you'll take the count so that you could try to recuperate. It'll happen 2 times, and he'll get put on the ropes, and Canelo will unload, and that's how the trilogy ends.
Hey, Julius, do you mind if I ask you a quick question real quick?
Go ahead.
How many Mexicans have won undisputed championships in the 4-belt era?
None, except for Canelo.
And
you don't count Lopez?
No, in the 4-belt.
Spanish.
Nah, Lopez ain't Mexican.
No,
I thought he was half.
We don't claim that, Chiva.
That dude is Honduran. That dude ain't
I thought he was half.
No, I heard he was from Spain.
Okay.
But he ain't Mexican, no. And he's not undisputed. Like, more importantly, no, he's not undisputed. And if you asking me if I considered him undisputed, absolutely
he was not undisputed.
That's another topic.
I said that from the beginning.
Who said he's undisputed? Someone said he is.
Not me. I said for you to be undisputed, you have to fucking fight Devin Haney. I've been saying that. That's not some new shit. I've made whole videos. You got to fight Devin for undisputed.
I'm just saying, Suleiman called him the WC champion.
That's full of shit, fam.
Okay, I'm just saying. That's it. Just saying they put
Suleiman
it on ESPN.
Suleiman also said the franchise.
You go to every sanctioning body's website, they do not recognize the franchise champion.
And that's all right. Let me say it to Frank because I guess Frank didn't see those videos. The point that I made, right, is simple. Suleiman can say whatever he wants. It's not up to Suleiman to crown undisputed champions. The only way an undisputed champion gets crowned is when all 4 alphabets agree. And when it came to undisputed, they did not agree. The WBO recognized Devin as WBC champion. The IBF recognized Devin as WBC champion. The WBA recognized Devin as WBC champion. When you went to their websites and you looked in the WBC column, you didn't see Teofimo's name. You saw Devin's name. And the way it works, the way it's always worked, they all 4 or 3 in the 3-belt era, they have to agree that this is the guy. They did not agree. They didn't view Teofimo being franchised as being WBC World because it's not. It's not the same thing.
But that's how they promoted it.
He literally
not them.
His undisputed claim literally was disputed. End of conversation.
Yeah, like it's like they didn't view him as that. Even once I remember Paco said about the WBC, they gotta stop pumping out these Palooka belts. When they made the franchise, he's like, yo, y'all gotta stop pumping out these fucking Palooka belts, these whatever WBC.
Julius, can I say something?
Yeah.
We were so
that's another can of worms. My bad. I wasn't trying to open that one. I just thought he was Mexican and he was undisputed.
This shit is. Do you remember this guy Method, right?
What's his
name?
name?
You remember Method? This DJ, I think.
Method.
Method.
Yeah, I remember Method.
Yeah. Okay. I understand everyone was trying to make an argument, but the shit was so crazy that I didn't caught up in the moment. This guy really compared Gervonta Davis with Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was gonna say because right now the WBA has Gervonta as a champion. So
yeah, but we know that he's not. But we know that he's not though.
So how come the WBA counts then? Like, why are we counting that and not the WBC?
All right. Because it's simple. Do you view? All right. So I'm gonna ask you a question. Do you view Robert Helenius as the WBA heavyweight champion of the world?
I don't even know if he is. I'm gonna be honest.
No, but I'm asking you. Do you view him as WBA heavyweight champion of the world?
If I viewed it like I was just reading it, no, I'm just saying like a layman. Like I'm just looking at it, and somebody tells me, "Oh, championship fight," I'm gonna believe it. Like you and I, we're gonna look and do the research.
No, you're not answering my question. Do you view him based on what you know about boxing? He's the WBA heavyweight champion of the world.
If he's the interim, no, but if he's regular, well, that's how they did it. Yeah.
So you recognize baby belts then?
If that's what they set up, then yeah. Tank is a champion.
I'm asking you. You using them to answer your question.
From my no, of course not. But
then what are we talking about right now then?
Then how come the WBA is acknowledged as the legitimate belt if Tank has the regular belt? Then it would be the same case.
Because everybody, all right, it's simple. It's simple.
It's the same case. It's the same case, Ring IQ. Like you have two of the same cases.
It's really not. It's overcomplicating things for argument's sake because we know who has the real WBA belt.
Yeah. But why do they recognize that and not
Who is they?
The WBA? Tank is the regular champion.
The only reason the
WBA. But does regular championship status, does that have lineage?
Let me ask you a different question. Can you unify a regular title?
Well, that's the regular title, right?
I didn't ask. See, this is we going back to the goofiness. All right, I'm not going to ask rhetorical questions anymore. Here's why that's not a real belt. You can't fucking unify it. You can't have a unification match with a Reggie belt. That's why it's not a real belt. You can't.
They told Rigo he couldn't unify, and it was a WBA.
They told Rigo he couldn't unify. They told Kansu. The IBF told Kansu, no, your fight is not a unification fight. Why? That's a Reggie belt you got. He can't skip out on his mandatory so he could fight you for your Reggie belt. Remember when Eddie Hearn tried to make a unification match between Josh Warrington when he had the IBF and Kansu? Kansu had the Reggie. Leo had the full. He still has the full, right? They told him, yo, this is not no unification match. That's a Reggie belt.
No, I know what the regulars is meaningless. I'm just saying how they promote it. That's
but of course they're gonna promote it. That doesn't take away from the fact that that's not the full title. The full title is always the one you could unify. So if you know that Devin got the full one, why are we trying to qualify Davis's? You didn't even fight nobody. You won that shit fighting Gamboa.
That's my point. Why do we consider if Gervonta still has the WBA? Why do we consider whatever Devin has now as the real belt? But Gervonta can still promote it as a championship fight.
Can I say this?
Because if you could be sued if you promote it as a championship fight, and it's not a real championship.
That's the promoter's job, bro. You're confusing the two things. That's what I'm listening to you guys. That's the problem. He's confusing the promoters promoting it as a championship fight with people like you and I, Julius and Leo. Like we know what it is, but the promoters are gonna say, "Oh, it's a WBA title."
I know what it is too. I know it's intern.
But Julius is asking you, why do you what do you think about it? And you keep giving him this political answer.
No, I told you what I think. Yeah, it's a Reggie belt. I agree.
So then what's the point of this discussion?
It's no, I'm just saying. Then
did they
why
need to come to America to get it?
Yeah, exactly. You're just saying, man. You're just saying anything.
No, wait.
You gotta come to America for the Reggie belt, bro.
Let me put it a different way. Let me put it a different way, right? You could build an interim fight, for example, as a championship fight because it's supposed to lead to a championship. The same applies to a Reggie belt. You could say, yeah, this is a championship fight because it's supposed to lead you to a championship. But we all know that Gervonta is not going to fight Devin Haney, right? So when his promoter decides to build his fight as a championship fight, we know that's not about nothing. You didn't fight for that belt and defend that belt so you could fight Devin. You ain't about to fight Devin. If you wanted Devin, you could have got his ass a long time ago. You didn't want him. Your promoter said, "Nah, we're not gonna pay him that. We're not gonna pay him what he want. He make a lot of money, and we're not going to pay him that. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend that
Hey,
your
Mo,
belt. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that your belt is a real full title because of what Leonard Ellaby says. Why would I do that?
Okay,
I understand. Yeah, I understand. I just looked into it and I seen what Suleiman said, but then I'm looking at WBA and nobody's talking about that. That's
Well, no, because
what
the
I was bringing
ABC
to the
is
table.
already telling them to get rid of them baby belts.
That's
No,
the ABC Commission already told the WNBA.
yeah, I've seen
They
that. I've
already
seen that they
started.
have to get rid of them, but they're still promoting it as a title fight.
You mean you mean the promoters are still promoting it as a title fight, not the WBA. The promoter
Julius,
Tank, he has a WBA belt. You can call it what you want, but it's still a belt.
They called Edgar Berlanga the Intercontinental Champ after his last.
It's not even that. It's, in other words, this is one of those arguments where we all have to pretend that we're brain dead to have it, that we don't know any better. That's what we have to do.
Well, this is the casual argument.
No. Let me talk. This is one of those arguments for argument's sake, just to be going because it's stupid. We all know better. We know the lineage of the WBA title, and it's not even the one the Tank has. They literally made that shit for you so that you wouldn't have to fight none of the other guys. The lineage of the WBA for the last, I'll say, 5 years, Linares was WBA champion for a long time, and he was the only one. He was the guy. You know what I mean? He was it. He was WBA champion, Ring Magazine, and lineal for his division. That's what he was. Loma beat him. Then Loma got beat by Tio. Then Tio got beat by George. Then George got beat by Devin. That's all the real WBA champions of the last 5 years. Not Javante. When Javante decided to move up to 35, they made that Reggie belt for him. It was vacant, and they let him win it fighting Gamboa. So why am I supposed to pretend that I don't know that?
But that's what I'm saying. There's two of the same things, and nobody's.
It's not the
talking
same
about
thing because you cannot unify Javante's title. You know that. So why are you pretending?
Yeah, I know that. Well, no. What I'm saying is, I looked at what Suleiman said. He said they created the franchise for Canelo.
WBC, fam, not WBA.
No, because the argument is about the franchise belt. We're saying it's
then
fake.
why are we talking about WBA Reggie belts if it's about the franchise?
Oh my, Julius!
Because the one that undisputed has is the super belt.
Don't make no sense.
Let me hold on, Jules. Let me try this. I think I kind of get what Frank is saying here. It's like, why are we recognizing Devin, right, as the champion when by virtue he did not face Lomachenko, who was the WBC champion? But what you don't understand, Frank, is that they basically stripped him. They stripped and they not stripped him. They elevated him to franchise belt.
Yeah.
Because there was something political going on. According to Ring, explain it to me about what Frank and Eddie, and it's like they
okay,
had to.
Let me make it easier for you because this is dragging on. If you're talking about franchise, right? Franchise status was transferred from Loma to Teofimo, so that settles that. There's no confusion, all right? It was transferred from Loma to Teofimo. Then Teofimo lost it to George. Then George lost it to Devin, who was already WBC World, and now he's undisputed.
Devin was an interim title holder and then got promoted, right?
Yep.
I think this is what it is.
Okay.
Don't take this personal, Frank. I think Frank just wants to be the one to have the better sound clips of the day over DJ.
Come on, man.
He's a contrarian.
You act like I'm. No, you act like I'm saying I'm saying, oh, Gervonta's the champ or something like that. Come on,
and
that's
what I'm
nonsense.
saying is simple. And what I'm saying is simple. All right, there has been a pecking order in the lightweight division for the last 5 years. There's always been a pecking order for any division. The lineage of the fighters that were the top fighters. There was a time when the top two guys in the division was Mikey Garcia and Jorge Linares. And before Mikey even decided to come back, Jorge was already the man to beat. Mikey comes back. He fights an unbeaten Dejan's Latijanine for the WBC. He knocks him out, but he didn't fight Linares. He leaves the division. Linares is still the man. Still got the Ring Magazine. Still got the WBA. Who moves up and fights him? Loma. Loma beats him. Loma gets beat by Tio. Tio gets beat by George. George gets beat by Devin. The rest is history. Out of those guys, which one of them did Gervonta Davis fight? Because all that happened before he even decided to move up.
Well, basically,
that's not even what I'm saying is that Gervonta has a WBA regular championship.
It's a 3D printed belt, man. It doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean shit. It
I
doesn't
know
mean
that.
nothing.
I know
It's just
that. I
marketing.
didn't
It's
say.
just
I'm
marketing
not
for the
telling you. Oh,
promoters.
no, I'm
But
not.
it's like
Yeah,
it's
I'm
just a
not a.
cyclical argument.
Yeah, no. What I'm saying is, I'm not an LDBC saying, "Oh, Gervonta's a real champ." No, I'm saying, yes, I understand what you're saying. I agree. There's some shadiness. Okay, but then why are people still recognizing Gervonta as a champion?
Because
People
it's a
aren't.
social construct. It's a
It ain't
social
even because
construct, bro.
It's too many.
It's
It's too
all
many guys.
marketing.
There's too many guys trying to talk to him at the same time. First off, it's not people recognizing him. You have like 6 people here that's telling you they don't recognize him. You have
I
sanctioning
don't
bodies.
either. I just said that. I don't
All
either.
right, but if I'm telling you that the version of the belt that you got is not the real belt because it can't be unified, what are we still talking about this for? Then you can't
Because there's a
unify that shit. You
a
can't,
WBA Super
regardless.
Championship, then, right? Because there has to be.
It has
If
to be
they
either
create,
the super. It's either the WBA Super or there can't be another WBA champion at the weight. It's simple. It's not
no, but that's what
complicated.
but that's what I'm saying. The franchise did the same thing. It created a super champ because it was created for Canelo to not have to do
And what
mandatories,
we're saying
but
is
he's still recognized as a
none
champion.
of the other sanctioning bodies recognize that belt.
But then Canelo's won at 168 undisputed.
He won the fucking WBC.
All right, now you
Because he was
bouncing
the franchise
one
champion.
at a time. First and foremost, right?
God.
Canelo Alvarez picked up the WBC world title at 168, not the franchise. He was already franchised before he moved up to 168. He picked up the WBC world, which was vacant, and he picked up all the other belts. So that parallel doesn't work. It
No, what I'm
sounds.
saying is that
What
we're
I'm getting.
recognizing it
Listen,
as a
listen,
champion
listen,
that he don't
listen.
have to do mandatory.
What I'm getting from what you're saying is you recognize Gervonta Davis as a champion. That's what I'm
No,
getting.
I just said that. No.
You
Why
said
would I-
So
Canelo
what are
doesn't
we
have to have a
arguing about?
mandatory.
If you don't recognize him as a champion because he got a baby belt, and I
Yes,
don't
I
recognize
understand
him
that.
as a champion, what is this conversation about? Because Leonard Ellaby said it's a title fight?
Julius, can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
What do you think about Chocolatito posting the Estrada trilogy on his story?
I think that Estrada. I think what's going to happen is Joshua Franco going to get that belt, and Steve Kim already said this shit. It's not likely that Estrada faces Franco because Golden Boy won the purse bid, and it was for a little bit of money. It wasn't for a lot of money, so it's like, bro, this dude not going to fight for no 100,000 or whatever against Joshua.
90K, bro.
Yeah, like that's fucking lunacy. So I mean, if he gonna fight Chocolatito, I got Chocolatito, fam. It's been over a year since Estrada had a fight.
Now let me ask you this, Jules. Are you giving any credence to the Eubank Conor Ben rumors?
Yeah, I know that there's reality to those rumors because I heard about them a week ago. I just didn't say anything.
Yeah, no, I heard about it too. What do you think about that, in your opinion?
It's gonna be a huge fight for the UK. Huge fight.
That is a huge fight for real.
And
Ben Eubank 3.
That takes Conor Ben to another level if he wins, right?
If he wins, but can he?
What's the weight you're hearing, Jules?
He's not. So. He's not. This is the thing. Conor Ben is not a big welterweight.
No,
he's not a big welterweight, and I don't know if Eubank is going to come down a little bit, but if he doesn't, it's chippy, man. It's chippy. That dude hit hard. Like I don't listen. I don't like Chris Eubank, right?
No,
but the truth is, he hit hard, bro. He hit hard. Like you see what he did to Liam Williams. He hit hard, fam. If he touch you, you going out.
I don't think Conor Ben takes that fight if he doesn't come down.
Well, or like
a compromise.
Why can't he just fight somebody his own side like John Ryder? Talk about this Conor Ben shit.
Because I want to see Conor Ben whoop his ass.
Listen, because I would love for Conor to win that fight, but Chris Eubank is shameless. Instead of looking at Yanni Beck, you called out Terrence Crawford, fam. Like, yo, that's a welterweight, my guy. He 2 divisions south.
And I think Eddie Hearn learned his lesson with sending Brock into Triple G. Okay, you can fight Conor, but we got the same day weigh-in.
Bro, all I could say is it's a great fight and it's a big fight, but Conor is a bonehead if he do that shit. Like, you crazy, my guy. Like, you crazy.
Like the only way I let if I'm advising Conor to take that fight at whatever weight is, okay, we have to have the weigh-in the same day of the fight.
So just so we're clear here, guys,
That
Gervonta
even,
Davis
in my opinion, in your opinion, Jules,
has the Chinatown, like Canal Street, WBA belt. Okay, that's it.
Yep.
Jules, does that even the playing field for you, Jules? If they weigh in the day of the fight?
No, that doesn't change anything because you talking about a dude. Listen, for perspective, right? This how hard Chris Eubank hit. This how hard he hit. Before Avni Yildirim ever got knocked out by anybody, right? Fucking Chris smoked that dude, right? That's the same Yildirim that went up to 68, and Anthony Durrell had to go through the gears with that same Yildirim, fam. All right? Eubank smoked that dude. The same fucking Liam Williams that Andre went the distance with. Yo, Eubank was knocking his ass around the ring the first couple of rounds. Like, what was it, 2-3 knockdowns? That dude can hit, fam. Conor is not a big dude at all. Like, he not, like, you don't got the size for that fight, my guy, being real with you. He just don't have it. He don't have it. Like, I would love for Conor to win, but being real, I'm like, bro, that's unless they gonna do like a 154, and I don't even know if Chris gonna do, because when has Chris ever fought at junior middle? When? He never done that shit. If he fight Liam Smith, it's gonna be at 60. He not coming down. He think he the princess of the middleweight division.
This is an open weight fight, man.
He said the princess.
I'm just saying, I don't think it's a good idea for Conor. It's like, Conor, if you willing to go to 60 for Chris, why don't you just fucking fight Stanionis then, fam? That shit makes no fucking sense.
Hey.
I have a nation too.
Clowns will be clowns.
What,
Bro, I'm just, I like I said, it's like, yeah, I see that there's a financial incentive, that it's a money fight, and I understand that the money is better for this fight than, say, a Stanionis fight or an Avanesian fight. But it's like, bro, like, this dude is like, he can punch, and I don't like Chris, by the way. Like, Chris is just, you shameless, man. You was calling out Kell Brook. You are shameless, fam. Like, you don't care. Oh,
but he lost his pen when it came to Triple G.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you legitimately ducked the prime Triple G. You one of the guys that ducked him in his prime. You one of the guys. So you could sit here at the beginning of 2022 calling out Kell Brook, Terrence Crawford, and now you fighting Conor Ben? You a clown. Like, get out of here, B. Like, go fight Yanni Beck, man.
Can't he fight Yana back for the vacant eventually?
They could set it up because Yanni Beck is a top ranked fighter. Top ranks UK broadcast partner is Sky. Sky's partner is Boxer. It could be done. Same way they got fucking Michaela going over there to Sky, they could have Yanni Beck going over there to Sky if Eubank wanted to smoke. But he don't want to smoke, fam. Like, you don't see that? You rather fight anybody than the people at your weight. How you don't want Andre, but you gonna fight the dude that Andre beat? You a clown, like you another Charlo. You just ain't got a belt. You a clown, like
a way bully.
Hey man,
that's what he is, a way bully.
Listen, privately, I think that Charlo didn't want to fight him when he went to BBC.
I don't know, bro. I'm just being real that Demetrius was there. Remember, he ain't been at Sky that long. This is the thing. When you came back after the pandemic was over and you partnered up with Roy, your first fight back was a Matchroom show where you looked like a fake Roy Jones. I didn't forget. So at that time, Demetrius is settled. He WBO champion. It wasn't no confusion at that time. If you wanted him, he was there. Who you wanted? Anybody but Boo Boo. Anybody. Like, man, fuck it. I want Morrison. I want motherfucking Williams. I want some Kell Brock. I want some kind of, like, fam, like, what's your problem? Like you don't want to fight nobody, bro. It's like you can't beat nobody good almost. Like, you don't even try.
He's a more serious Ryan Garcia to me. I don't really think of you. I really don't think of Eubank as a boxer, if I'm being real with you, Julius. I don't even think about his career ever. He's not a boxer to me.
I don't think about it and what annoys me is, you really have a dude that fought as high as 168 and they're letting them. They're fucking letting them sit there calling out welterweights.
That's sick,
fucking
bro.
crazy,
It's shameful.
man.
It's shameless. It's
It ain't.
Bro,
shameless.
the
I
apple
think
fell
It
way
ain't
too
one thing
far
about
from the
me.
tree, man. I did
One
not.
thing about
I
me.
will. If that fight gets made, I am gonna criticize Eddie because I
Yeah.
don't. It's like that's. I mean,
Yeah, because it's like, come on,
you
bro.
could fuck up
You
Conor
got
Benn
listen.
with
You
that
got an
fight.
undisputed champion, right? At junior middleweight, and you don't hear Eubank even talk about that dude. Like he don't like Jamel just became undisputed at 154. You know, eventually he gonna go to 60. You don't hear Chris talking about that dude, but you got time for Kell Brook and Terrence Crawford and Conor Benn. Like you a clown. Like. You a clown, like nah. You a joke, my guy. You ain't even calling the people out at your own weight that got belts or that's about to fight for a belt. You are sat here calling out welterweights. Skip right past all the junior middles. Forget
Crazy.
about a Jermel. Fuck it, nah. I don't want Jermel. Forget about a Tim Zoo or just anybody. Nah. I don't want none of them. I want Terrence Crawford, bro. You serious? And they
Bro,
let him.
he Kramer when he went to that Kiss Karate class. Fuck that, man.
Bro, that shit is that nobody that enough that more people are not talking about how fucking ridiculous this guy is crazy. It's like, yo, you don't see what this guy's doing? Kel Brock was old. He retired, and after Kel announced that he retiring, Eubank was still calling him out.
And it's crazy.
That's crazy, fam. You don't think that's not? They're like, yo, you know, Kell Brook fought the Golovkin that you were supposed to fight.
That's just
Yeah.
And what you said, Crawford? What's it been now? 9 months since the Porter fight.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and nobody said like Chris.
And
Why
yet
don't
Tom
you?
Brown wanted to sacrifice Spence to Canelo.
Right.
This
Yeah.
is the goofiness of boxing
Yeah.
today. This is these
Good
open weight
choice.
challenges for big money.
Another example of them preferring to give the Hispanic fighter the opportunity over a brother.
Yeah,
Don't
I mean,
you can't say that, Eson. You off code saying that, bro.
all I'm saying, I can't believe that the boxing world is willing to tolerate that kind of shamelessness. That like, yo, Chris, fam, you fought at 168, bro. Like why are you calling out retired fighters that have been in better fights than you? You wish you had a quarter of the balls that Kell Brock got. At least he fucking fought guys like Spence and Golovkin. You don't want to fight shit, bro. I really want somebody to just beat the shit out of him. And I don't know if it's ever gonna happen because he won't fight anybody good. You act like Demetrius don't exist, but you have time for guys that he beat up. That's crazy. That's crazy. To me, I'm like, yo, how you get out of bed in the morning, bro? How do you not have time for Demetrius, an unbeaten 2-division champion, but you have time for the people that he beat?
I think Boo should move up for this fool. And that's what he likes.
Bro, I would love for somebody and in any event, yo, it's fucking late as shit, y'all. I gotta go.
Man, it's almost 1.
Hey, this was a fun live,
3
bro.
hours today, Jules.
This is a fun live. We just chopping up, chilling.
Yeah,
but we had to come to America though.
We came to America for the WBA title.
Yeah,